So you taking care of yourself in point of eating, you're exercising, sleep. Is there anything
Stay on
else?
a schedule. Like we got deployed. 3 of us went to Haiti, and I'm sure no one here has been to Haiti. I
No.
don't recommend going to Haiti. We went to the northern part of Haiti, which city, which apparently is the worst third world city inside one of the worst third world countries in the northern hemisphere, which is Haiti. So we
Wow.
went there, and we were living in a tent there with gangs and people that wanted to probably hurt us right outside the tent. And we had no protection. Well, we had one army guy. He said, "Look, if they charge our our where we're staying, just run for the top of the mountain, and I think we can get a helicopter to get us out of here." He thinks. So we were there disconnected for a month. So one thing I do, I guess it would be like if you're in jail. I've never been to jail. Just want to point that out. If I were in jail, I want to have a routine, just so I have a routine to keep my mind off that stuff. Keep your mind focused. So we had a job there. We're working with the United Nations, and I just had a regular schedule. I'd get up at the same time every day, go do my thing, go shower, shave, do a little bit of walking, exercise, eat, and stuff like that. But just stay on a schedule, have a plan of what you're going to do every day, and stick to that plan. And it's amazing what that can just do. And try and cut out all the stuff you know that might cause any harm to your brain. I guess I don't know.
There's some German in it.
You mean the first thing you didn't see was that bear back there?
No, 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 no. The first thing was the
Okay,
meme.
yeah,
I
that's
did
all
I
right.
didn't know that bear yet. What's the story with that bear then?
This is America right here. This is a Costco 8-9 foot bear, and it looked cool in a Costco warehouse. I
Mhm.
don't know if you're familiar with Costco. It looks smaller in the warehouse till you get it trying to get it in a vehicle, and then you bring it home, and now I can't get rid of it, so it sits here.
But
You
it's a
can't
good
get
filler.
can't get
It's
him
a
out of
good
here.
filler. If you don't want to paint your wall or don't want to put anything in there, I mean, get a
Just
bear.
throw the bear there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
throw the
just
bear
throw it.
there, right? Right?
Yeah, have to vacuum it and stuff, but
Right?
no, no, no. I'm born and raised here in Washington D.C., the D.C. Maryland Virginia area, the DMV as I call it, and no, I've always wanted to be a firefighter. So as soon as I turned 16 years old, like on my birthday, I applied to be a volunteer, and I got in. So, and that was a volunteer. Then I discovered in college, during college, you could actually get paid to be a firefighter. I'm like, get out of here. Heck with this college crap. So I applied to be in the fire department, and then I got hired. I stopped college, never got a degree, went right to the fire department and did 28 years doing that. So I was a volunteer from 16 to age 23, 24, then another 28 years. So total 36, 7 years of doing that.
It's not easy
I'm
to
now
get
retired.
it's not easy
Yeah.
to get in, right? I think it's
Oh,
not
it's
that
very
it's
difficult.
well, what do you have to do to get into there to
Be
be a
lucky
firefighter?
because so many people apply for it here in the United States. It's a competition, so you have to pass a polygraph. There's a written test. You're
A
fit. They have to do a
polygraph.
physical. Yeah. Oh yeah. People lie apparently. Yeah. People have a past and they don't want people that are bad. So they do a polygraph. It's not legal in every state in the United States, but in the Commonwealth of Virginia, you can do polygraphs. So that's where I got it done. So our own police department does the polygraphs. So the detectives are sitting there asking all these questions about all kinds of things. I don't want to
That's
repeat them in here, but yeah, they want to make sure you have a good background and you know,
yeah,
so you're gonna be good for the job. Yeah.
it's definitely different than here over in Germany. It's very interesting. But I think also you played a big part during your career as a firefighter. You build up a lot of new things, right? You were part of a lot of new structures which were implemented. For example, um, what about the special unit you were in? That was created basically during your time with you, right?
So going back in history of the world, over in I believe let's say Russia. Trying to think what phase Russia was in at the time, but there was a big earthquake over there. Okay, and so they asked for help, and the United States wanted to send help to them as a goodwill gesture through the State Department. So they put together this team in Fairfax, Virginia to go over there and help them, right? Armenia. It was in Armenia, Russia in the 80s, 1987, I think. So they didn't even have uniforms. I was not on the team then, but they took like 10 guys and sent them over there to help in Armenia, Russia, doing urban search and rescue through the rubble and trying to find people. And then from that, when they came back from that, they said, this would be a good thing to have. We could send to other countries when things go bad. So under the United Nations and every government around the world, they put together these urban search and rescue teams. So a lot of countries have one now. Finland, I mean Israel, everybody's got one now. Um, so in the United States, there's two fire departments that contract with the State Department. They renew it every 5 years, and they have to go through this whole application process to make sure you have the equipment, the training, and all. So Fairfax, Virginia, Los Angeles. I was on the Fairfax team. And that is international. Then you have the domestic one in the United States when things go bad here. We have hurricanes here, we have earthquakes and terrorist
9/11.
attacks, stuff like that. And that would be under FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency. So FEMA does domestic, USAID, State Department does international response under the United Nations. So our team did both. So that's how I ended up doing this long list of things. And I was in the early stages of the formation of this team when they decided to make this team. And it has about 200 people on it. And you always respond with about 80 people. That includes search dogs, those German shepherds with the vest on, you see
Mhm.
crawling through the rocks and stuff like that. And search cams, we have our own doctors and all that. So that's what we do. So the first test of all these teams that the United States put together, they put all this tax money into it and built all these teams, was the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995. So that was a terrorist attack. There's a whole generation that's never even heard of this, by the way. Now, I mean, that was 95. That's a few years ago. So that was when someone came up, an American had a rider rental truck came in from a federal building and blew it up. Okay.
There
And
was
so
not only one building, that was several buildings, right? I
Oh, it
think.
it actually damaged 300 buildings in
Yeah,
downtown Oklahoma City. I
yeah,
mean, it
was
wasn't just that
crazy.
building, it was yeah, it was everywhere. It was
Mhm.
just a rebound. In fact, there's a water plant across the street, everything. Yeah, I mean, it was horrible. Um, and so you see it on TV, but then that we end up deploying there to help. And when you get there, when you see it in person, it's completely different than seeing it on TV. And so we had members of our team after they went to that, they said, "This is not for me. This is too much." Because it's unless you're there and see how horrible that kind of thing is, you don't understand. What you see on the news is nothing like what it is when you're there at all.
Were there any teams who were supporting the firefighters back then, like, mental health wise, or supporting them in any
That
way?
was still fairly new.
Probably no, right?
Even today, it's just now getting around. But back then they were kind of even military or whatever. Um, yeah, mental health was not a big deal. No, you just suck it up and you just move on. If you don't like it, we have people that are ready to get on the team. I'm not putting down the teams
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
that works, but it's just the way it was. It was
Yeah, yeah.
not.
It's
I
a
mean,
different time.
we would sit around in a circle and talk about it. We'd be forced to do it, whether we wanted to do it or not. And that was just not the way it is nowadays. But, they didn't know what to do. They just thought this would be the best thing to do. We'll just sit around and talk about it, and that's it.
Well, better than nothing, I guess, but
I
still,
guess, yeah. But
yeah, still not helpful.
people still quit the team and all that. Yeah.
How did you deal with it, with all the stuff you have seen? Because, I mean, this is something that is stuck in your mind, I guess, right?
I just stay busy, make sure you get your sleep, eat right, exercise. It's all the same things if you're a streamer. Same thing. A lot of
Mhm.
people don't do that and they get stressed out because they're not eating well. They're staying up. They're doing these stupid 24-hour streams. They're doing all this stuff, but they're not really thinking about what they're really doing to themselves as they do it. So it doesn't matter what career you're doing or what you're doing. You got to eat correctly. You got to exercise. You got to get your sleep, make those priorities. Even in mental health, you got to do all that. And then what I tell my rock squad, my community, like with everything going on right now or over the last 2 years, turn that stupid TV off. Stop looking at it. Turn it off.
That's
Hashtag turn it off. Just
that's
turn it off.
interesting, and that's so difficult as a content creator, right? To stay away from social media, and I saw that over the last week, like, a lot of friends are not online anymore, and I know it's a good thing because they're trying to stay focused and not to dig in too much negative stuff all the time, right?
Yeah.
Which is a good point. Well, what kind of other habits do you, developed over the years maybe to stay in that good mental place, or maybe also physical place? So you taking care of yourself in point of eating, you're exercising, sleep. Is there anything
Stay on
else?
a schedule. Like we got deployed. Three of us went to Haiti, and I'm sure no one here has been to Haiti. I
No.
don't recommend going to Haiti. We went to the northern part of Haiti, which city, which apparently is the worst third world city inside one of the worst third world countries in the northern hemisphere, which is Haiti. So we
Wow.
went there, and we were living in a tent there with gangs and people that wanted to probably hurt us right outside our tent, and we had no protection. Well, we have one army guy. He said, "Look, if they charge our our where we're staying, just run for the top of the mountain, and I think we can get a helicopter to get us out of here." He thinks so. We were there disconnected for a month. So one thing I do, I guess it would be like if you're in jail. I've never been to jail. Just want to point that out. If I were in jail, I want to have a routine, just so I have a routine to keep my mind off that stuff. Keep your mind focused. So we had a job there. We're working with the United Nations, and I just had a regular schedule. I'd get up at the same time every day, go do my thing, go shower, shave, do a little bit of walking, exercise, eating stuff like that. But just stay on a schedule, have a plan of what you're going to do every day, and stick to that plan. And it's amazing what that can just do. And try and cut out all the stuff you know that might cause any harm to your brain. I guess I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out right now because look, it sounds so easy when you say it, but it obviously is not because most people just, I don't know, can't do it. Was there
Well,
anything that
here's the beauty about Facebook. Okay, that a lot of
Mhm,
people don't do on Facebook. I know there's people watch on Twitch as well.
mhm,
So on
mhm.
Facebook, that news feed is what Facebook is giving you what you told it you wanted. So
Algorithm,
as
yeah.
long as you allow these people to post this crap, well, you're going to keep getting that crap, right? So
Mhm.
you can snooze those people. You can unfriend them. You can unfollow them all you want. And the more you undo that, like right now, if I go to my news feed, I see kids, I guess at some recital or something. I see people's puppy dogs. That I have the original Facebook again because all the people that are posting all that political and COVID, all that stuff, I snoozed them for 30 days because that's a feature. And if they kept going crazy because I don't want
Mhm.
to hear it, I just unfollow them. And I got
Mhm.
rid of it. So my newsfeed is awesome. I can show you some great recipes if you want. That's all my newsfeed anymore. I just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. The same way within life. If you have, even if your parents are this way, I tell my community all the time, I said, I don't care if your mom is going to be that way, just don't talk to her anymore. No one says you have to talk to your parents or your friends. And if they are negative, bringing you down and creating a world that you don't want to be in, just get rid of them. You are the sum of the five people you hang out with the most. If you're hanging out with
Make a
five people that are
conscious
negative,
choice. I see it.
you
I like that.
need to take control of your life. Don't let people drag you into their little black hole of junk that really make it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. So
Is there any story about of the firefighter thing before we end this? Is there any story that stood out to you the most where you say like, I don't know, this turned out differently and I learned something from it or something positive, I guess?
well, I'm from a generation. I'm 59 years old. I'm probably the oldest person in here. I don't know. I grew up with a TV show called Emergency. So a lot of firefighters from my generation that got hired were because of that TV show. We saw the Johnny and Roy out there saving lives of paramedics in Los Angeles County, and we all applied to be firefighters, or I guess if you want to be a cop, you saw Chips, Eric Estrada, or something like that. I don't know, but it definitely is not what you see on TV. I can tell you that right now. It will beat your brain up. It's very physical. You get no sleep. You end up becoming somebody you're probably not because you just don't have a schedule. You have no sleep. It's just horrible. It took me about 5 years after being retired so I could sleep all night now. Now I sleep like a rock. I mean, I'm like loving it. I could sleep like crazy. But no, it took forever. It would be like anyone working night shift in a hospital or a factory or all that stuff, you know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, definitely. And you have been all over the world with, I mean, a lot of things. I mean, not only in the US, you also have been, I think, in the Iran, right? Um,
Yes.
how was that experience for you? Like, did that your expectations, were they met there, or did you was it different than people told you what you will meet there, or how did it?
So yeah, so there was an earthquake on Christmas or Christmas Eve. I'm trying to think what year, 2004, 2005. President Bush was in office, and Iran had this big earthquake in Bam, BAM.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you pronounce it, Bam around. Um, and we were always told as Americans, Iran is the axis of evil. Okay, because we haven't had Americans there since the hostage crisis in the 80s. You have to go way back, then, during the Olympics, all that stuff. So, we had Americans there. They had to do a whole rescue thing to get them out of there. We Americans had never been back there again. So this earthquake happens, and I always monitor all these earthquakes around the world. Like we may have to go somewhere, so I'm anticipating. I'm like, there's no way we're going to Iran. It's the axis of evil. They hate America. They want to kill us. Blah blah blah. Right.
Hmm.
So I get a phone call saying, "Hey, we're on
You're going.
standby by the federal government. Um, just let you know." I said, "Yeah, that's okay because we're not going. It's a bad place. We can't go there. They don't like us."
Mhm.
And so next thing I know, they said, "Hey, man, we're going. You need to bring your gear down. We're going. We're flying to Iran." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, whatever." So I pack all my stuff. Yeah, I'll be back home in probably about 12 hours because we ain't going there.
Still not believing.
Yeah. Next thing I know, I'm at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, getting on a plane. I'm like, we're actually going to Iran? It's like, so next thing we ended up in, I'm gonna mispronounce this. It's in Italy. It's Marone, Italy. There's an American Air Force base there in Italy. We land there as a staging point. The federal government has us land there, right?
Hmm.
And then we sat there for a couple hours and we got a phone call. They said, "All right, 10 of you of the 80 are going to Iran. They don't want to send everybody there because it's too dangerous. We're only gonna send 10 people." I'm
Hmm.
like, "Oh no, now it's down to a lottery." And then they picked me as one of the 10 to go. I'm like, "Oh crap, I'm going to Iran." So they said, "But we're gonna put you on this old Air Force Reserve plane." It was from Montana or Wisconsin, I don't know, somewhere, but it was a beat up piece of crap. And it's so broken that they said they had to fly it really low. It's a C-130. They said we have to fly it low because, well, there's missiles and stuff that could blow it out of the high if it's too high, but it may crash. So we're gonna fly it low and we're gonna go to Ron with it, and they know you're coming, so you're safe. I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? So we get on this plane and two military guys get on there with their rifles. They have these big cases and they're going to be our protection. At the very last minute, they jump out, said, "Nope, you all are going in by yourselves." Just a bunch of firemen, firefighters, no protection with American flags on our back. We're going to Iran. So they fly us in. Oh, by the way, the other reason why they wanted to use this plane is if the Iranians wanted to take it, they can have it. They said, let them have that plane. Like, me, we're disposable. So anyway, we end up in Iran. We land. I remember to this day, we landed. I swear to God, I felt like we were landing on Mars. Like, where are the Martians at? I'm looking out the window, like, oh my God, what is going to happen? And we were greeted like we were like, oh my God, they're Americans, and they were freaking out that we were there. They loved it, and we were immediately welcomed. I'm like, okay, this ain't so bad. And then we got some trucks and we had to drive it to Bam, and we had to drive this one road. Apparently, I can't remember what it was called. One hell road. It was some. All it was is you drive down this road. There's nothing but burned out, crashed vehicles on both sides because everybody drives like maniacs over there, and they're passing, speeding, everything, and they do head-on collisions and they catch fire all the time, and people die. And we're driving down this road, and people are like weaving around. We get there. It's the day after Christmas, and remember, it's Muslim. Iran's Muslim, right? We get there.
Hmm.
They could not believe we were there with these American flags on our back because they had never seen Americans. Never, ever. They've only read about if
And that
they
was
came.
2005.
right. And they can't get on the internet there because Iran is another country that blocks the internet.
Yeah.
So they only hear stories. They're told a lot of lies about Americans over there, like we have slavery and apartheid going on. They kind of know how to get around the firewall, even back then. But um, so we get there. They made us the ugliest Christmas tree I've ever seen in my life. These are Muslims. They made us a Christmas tree because they felt so bad that we left our Christmas, our holiday, to come help them. And then they
That's
gave us roses. They made us a little holiday tree. It was horrible, but hey, it was the most beautiful tree ever. And they couldn't be nicer. They couldn't be nicer. It was amazing. The nicest people I've ever met in this entire planet was a country that's supposed to be the one that hated us the most. Isn't that crazy?
it is crazy.
A lot of people say I lie, that I'm paid to say that, and because they don't want to hear that. Like, that's impossible. But that's not, I was there. So nice. Unbelievable.
But isn't that, I feel like this is a story which could be about every country in the world because we all live in our small bubble. Live in my Germany bubble, and we all hear something about other countries and have our own view on things, right?
Oh,
Uh,
absolutely. Well, it's what the media tells you, right?
mhm.
And we're raised a certain way. And, but social media, the internet has really broken down a lot of the barriers.
I
It's
love
made
I
things
love these
worse.
moments though. I love these moments. I had this not only like with people from other countries, in general with people. Like you always have these moments in your life where you have your opinion, your view on
Right.
things, your view on people, and then you meet them and then getting this surprise. I love these moments. I'm always open for these moments, honestly, personally, because I
Yep.
I know it can happen to anyone. It can happen to my best friend where I see a new moment, a new reaction, whatever. But with a country like this, of course, it's much bigger. I love that story. Um, so we have to switch though. We have to switch. There's so much more. There's so much more. um, I didn't even give the full introduction because you're a
Oh,
podcaster yourself.
slacker.
Oh, yeah, right? You're a podcaster yourself. You do a show about money, and I think this is also kind of related to the whole firefighter story because you wanted to help people because you saw there is a need to help people to figure out their financial decisions they make
Yeah.
in life, right?
Yeah.
Um, how did you get the idea maybe to do that? How did you start it and how is it going so far? Because you're still doing it to this very day, right? You had your podcast this week, I think. It's called Walk
Yeah.
on the Money, by the way, guys.
Yeah. Rocking money.
walkonthemoney.com.
It's
You can
everywhere.
Yeah, it's
It's everywhere.
everywhere.
Um, Within our fire department, we have in the America, we have unions. So we have a firefighter union, the IAFF. So we have a local, and within our county government in Northern Virginia, uh, you know, in America, you have 401ks and all that stuff and retirement stuff. And usually people just listen to whatever the salesperson does or the financial person says, yeah, here are the pamphlets and sign up for these mutual funds, blah, blah, blah. So when you're in the fire department, we're there for 24 hours a day, right? We're working, there's 3 shifts. We work 20, you can't leave. Yeah, if we're not running calls, we have something to do. We have time, right? So, the guy from the T Row Price or whatever would come by and said, yep, here's all the mutual funds you can sign for in your 401k, blah, blah, blah. Night, what would you like to sign up for? We're like, okay, well, that has a higher number. We don't know what to do. We don't know what we're doing. We're firefighters, right? But one day we're looking at us like, wait a minute. So we started actually getting out we put on the coffee, we laid out everything like, all right, we're going to figure this thing out. Remember, the internet wasn't really, America Online was still kind of the big thing. And you couldn't really pull up financial
When
information like
wait,
you see
wait,
in the
give us
newspaper.
when was that?
This is in the
87?
90s,
90s?
90s. So if
But
you
you
want stock
Okay.
prices, you're still using the
Mhm,
newspaper or
mhm.
watching CNBC World or CNBC here in the States, right? So it wasn't like you could get on there now, like go to Yahoo Money. You can bring up all kinds of charts and blah, 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 and you know everything you want. Back then, you were literally doing what they told you to do, right? And they're making money on commissions and all that. So we're like, all right, we're gonna figure this thing out. We laid everything out, blah, blah, blah. We're comparing, blah, blah, blah. And so a bunch of us in the union decided, all right, we're gonna help our brothers and sisters in the fire department. We're gonna help them plan ourselves so they retire well when they're done because they're
Mhm.
getting their It's a tough career, even police. So when they're done with their career, they retire, and that way they're good for their life, right?
Mhm.
So we started creating this retirement seminar weekend where they could bring their spouses, wives, significant others in a weekend and learn about life insurance, social security from the federal government, all this stuff. So seminars, they would only the firefighters are doing this. So the rest of the people in the county government are like, hey, what are they all doing over there? What are those firefighters doing? So people start watching this. So it turned out that a 457 in America is the same as a 401k, but it's a government version of it, right?
Mhm.
Um, it turns out that the firefighters were signed up more for retirement plans than any other employee in this county government. It's a very large county government in the United States in Northern Virginia. And they were trying to figure out why are the firefighters doing all this? Because we are taking charge and trying to figure this out. And we found out a lot of these financial advisors were actually lying to us and they're getting commissions. We started figuring this out early.
Surprise.
Um, and then from that, um, we started a Facebook group where we could all come together aside from our union group and we could keep talking about that. So we keep monitoring our funds. Are we in the right ones or not long term? And, blah, blah, blah. And, sharing some books and not doing any of these crazy plans that people sell these stupid courses and all this nonsense out there. Everybody wants your money. You just got to figure out why they want it or what is their deal. So we figured that out. Anyway, so then when I retired, I was like, all right, I need to do a podcast to keep this going. And I'd already worked on podcasts in the past under CBS Radio. I'd put them together, but I wasn't on them. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and make my own podcast, keep this going. And then I have a good friend down in Florida, and she's a lawyer and she's a real estate
Yeah, she's
agent.
great.
Yeah, she's great. So she's a friend of mine. She's married to a military guy. So we were helping the military guy people and the firefighters and police and public safety. And then we decided to open up to everybody. So initially it was private. But we said, you know what? Let's just open up to everybody because everybody kept weighing in on this. So we don't make any money. We actually lose money on that that podcast.
But you even are certified, right? I think you even made
I
a
am I'm a certified master financial coach under
right?
Dave Ramsey, who is a radio guy here in the United States.
Yeah.
And he's a big guy that teaches the baby steps to get people out of debt. So I took all that course. I'm certified under Dave Ramsey as a master financial coach, but I'm just literally all I'm doing is teaching basic financial literacy to people without all that nonsense from financial advisors, all that stuff. Because
Yeah,
a
you
lot
break
of
it
it is
down.
biased out there. I don't have a course to sell. We have nothing to sell.
No,
So
I
we're
see.
literally just trying to educate people on what they're supposed to do. And then people want to argue with us. I'm like, no, that's what you heard. That's not what you're supposed to do. But you do you.
Mhm.
But this is the right way to do it. It's
No, I
boring, but
love
it
that.
works.
I
So
love that. I have the feeling you're a person who sees, there's an opportunity to help or to do something or to create something which is not there, and you just jump right on that and try to get, are you are you never
yeah,
afraid of failure?
that's fair.
Like, I'm not
That's
saying
fair.
that's the thing, but most people are too afraid to start something because they could fail, and I have the feeling, well, no, let's do it. It's a good idea, right? Feels like
Yeah, I
you're
can't fail because I don't make money now. So there's no way I can fail. So that's good. But I'm really good at that. I am probably like what you said, but I'm really bad at trying to make money off it because I really don't care about the money part. It's like
okay.
taking care, building a community and building that up. Good.
You're a millionaire, right? Or did I see that wrong? I think you said on some point you're self-made millionaire by using this strategy and
Well,
being very
there's really no strategy.
or
Here's the thing about retirement. You
okay.
can't retire. Retirement's not an age in America. Everyone thinks I turn 65, I can retire. Retirement's not age, it's a number. Do you have a number in savings that continues to grow that you can feed off that and that will last you till you retire? That in other countries, they have a pension from the government. America, it's
So
you have to do the whole thing.
yeah.
So do you have the money in the bank that you can withdraw and not deplete it? So if you live to 85, you
Mhm.
run out because that would be horrible. And it happens. So I guess you could say I am because I need that in order to retire over the next.
I thought somebody must have taught you in a way, the way you are now, but I feel like you're a very curious person, and whenever you see you can learn something or grow or be better at something, you just jump right into onto that and
Oh
get
yeah.
all the infos you need, which I think is a very good character trait, I guess, to have, right? To get
I
you
am
forward.
always searching online from good sources, not nonsense, not from some blog that somebody posted, but I've been on the internet since 82,
Mhm.
1982. Nat, back then, there wasn't a lot going on. I had an email address, but nobody to email because nobody had email. But now there's no excuse that you can't go learn something now. I mean, I could go learn basket weaving right now in the next hour if I wanted by going to YouTube and put how to basket weave right there. And in an hour I could probably make a basket. It may be ugly, but I'll give it a shot. You know what I mean? No one has an excuse not to know, learn a skill, or do anything. You could start a side hustle right now today on Sunday afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern. By tonight, I could learn a side hustle right now and make money.
What would you do?
I don't have any time. I'm too busy. I got a farm I gotta go on farm sim right now. I got bales that are doing salads right
You're
now.
busy?
I got trucks to go get. No, I
Uh,
really, I people say you're busier in retirement than they do at their real job. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm staying busy.
mm.
I don't want to just sit around and watch TV all day,
Well,
you
that's
know,
what
in
my dad is
retirement.
doing, and it's terrible.
I've
I
seen
can't
so
watch
many
him, man. I
retirees
can't watch
just
him.
die within years because they don't do anything.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm done working, and they end up, not doing anything. And then next thing you know, their funeral announcement gets posted. I'm not taking that route. I'm going a different route.
Mhm.
I'm staying busy.
I love that. Yeah, well, then let I guess what I would like to know next is really like how did the whole streaming thing start? Because I think you were on Twitch before on Facebook
Yes, I was on Twitch
and you
in
played a
2013, but I was actually streaming before that.
where? What?
Okay, you
Why?
have to go all the way back. You have to go all the way back to 2001.
All right, let's go back.
You opened up the podcast saying you have a lot going on. There's a lot to unravel here. Okay, so
Yes.
parallel universes, fire department, streaming up here, right? I was
Okay.
doing things simultaneously at the same time. I've always been, as a kid, a fan of radio DJs, these music radio DJs in the 70s and 80s and stuff like that, 60s, 70s, 80s. And then talk radio started getting around. I'm like, I always thought those people were fascinating. So I was a fan of radio. Okay. So I started working with a radio show here in the Washington, D.C. area called the Sports Junkies. They were a night show. They're the big morning show, but back then they were brand new. And I was a geek. I already knew how to do websites. So I was a fan. I said, hey, man, I'll make you a website. This is like 1998, 99. It was like GeoCities, and you have to go way back with the internet back then.
There was a
Websites
time where you
weren't
could
that
make a
elaborate.
lot of money when you could make websites.
Yeah. So I made this website for them, and they would have me on the air every now and then. Like, I would go visit them, and they put me on the radio show and stuff like that. And then there was I discovered on the internet you could stream live in 2001 in internet radio. You ever heard of internet radio?
Yes.
So there was a company in outside San Francisco called live365.com,
Mhm.
and you could stream your own internet radio station.
Yeah.
And so back then, using Shoutcast and all these different things like that. Um, so I asked the radio guys, I said, I know this can sound weird, but do you mind if I start streaming on the internet? And they laughed at me. They're like, yeah, okay, yeah, you go over there and play with the internet. Yeah, you can go have your little radio station. So I'm like, okay, I'll show you guys. So I went over Live 365. And I was trying to come up with a name for my radio station, and that's where Rockland USA actually came from. I registered that domain name way back then
Hmm.
because there was a Rockland radio already in Germany, rockland.de or something like that.
Mhm.
So it's like, well, I can't be Rockland radio. There already is. I'll call it Rockland USA then. So
Yeah.
that's where the USA comes from. So I titled it. I started streaming one radio station, and nobody listened to it. I sucked at it. I'm like, okay, they don't want to listen to what I have. I'm gonna go ahead and pretend like I'm a real radio station. I'm gonna do the popular stuff, all popular rock music. Okay, so I programmed this thing out, went live occasionally, and then it took off. I gave people what they wanted. I'm like, oh man, this is cool. Now I got people actually enjoying what I'm streaming. and I could go live back then. There was no video yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to say that was only audio,
Now you
but
couldn't
you
webcam
really have
stream
the
yet.
voice. I mean, you
There
have the
were
voice.
webcam.
I mean, you have everything
Now,
you need, I feel, for that.
yeah.
That's
Well,
cool.
I don't know. This
No?
is not my
What?
voice, by the
What?
way.
What?
This is laryngitis after streaming so much. But um, there were webcams back then, but it was not streaming it because webcams were horrible and there was no central place to use them. You could do video phone calls, you just couldn't do live streaming it. Um, and then it ended up expanding out to 10 different radio stations. So I had 70s, 80s, 90s. Here in the States, we have something called Sirius XM where you have all these channels, different theme. And so I
Mhm,
basically had that before they existed. And then 2004, I got Internet Broadcaster of the Year. I got Best Website, Radio Station Website, and Best Pop Music Website or something like that. And then even Apple put 4 of my 10 stations on iTunes. If you remember iTunes back then, there was a live music
mhm.
tab on the left-hand side. Under there were 4 Rockland USA radio stations. Now, did I make money on that? No. It was just cool. It was cool that you were there, but we didn't make money on that. There were ads on there, but stuff like that. So fast forward to 2007, I discovered people had webcams, and they were starting this thing called Justin TV, which is now Twitch. There
Mhm,
was a place called Blog TV. Those are the 2 biggies.
mhm.
There was I can't remember what some of the others. It wasn't Stickcam. I can't remember some of these other ones, but there were no rules back then. The rules that people are getting banned on Twitch for now or Facebook, we created those rules because we did it first. And then they said, all right, we need a rule. You can't do that anymore. So all these rules that you guys see now, some of them probably have my name on them. But 2007, I started streaming on Blog TV. I had an account on Justin TV, but I said, I'm going to do Blog TV.
Mhm.
And it was going to be an offshoot of my internet radio stations. All right. So I said, well, what am I going to do? Because back then it was all IRL. There was no game streaming
Yeah.
because it was only the dimensions were 300, was it 320 by 240 was the dimensions of video square back then. Um, and so I just started streaming IRL streams
Mhm.
and I made it like a morning radio show, American radio show style, which did okay. But then I like, all right, how do I get? That's when I learned the chat room was so much fun. I made the chat room my focus. Then I ended up becoming the game show guy. I created game shows, American game shows, formatted to work with the chat room, and that's when my stream catapulted. After that,
What kind of game shows were there? Well,
they were rip-offs of the American version of Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune. Then I came up with other word games. There were games that I discovered I could do it with a chat. It was a lot of work though, because there was no bots or scripts that you could do that would capture the answer. So I have to watch the chat, which is scrolling, trying to find who had the right answer the first time. I had to keep score on a piece of paper, all that kind of stuff. So, but
that's super
that
cool.
is what catapulted me in the top and being the top streamer on Blog TV back then.
And what happened then after Block TV?
I stopped streaming in 2012, 20. I don't remember the first year, what year it was. 2 things happened. Uh, Number one, money started coming into streaming. You can make money on ads. This is the first time you can start making some revenue.
Mhm.
So I'm like, oh, they're going to let me make money on ads. Out of curiosity, I wanted to stream for 1 month and see how much could I make if I stream every single day. How much money in ad money? How much ad money do you think I made in the first month? And remember, I'm one of the top streamers on Blog TV at the
Fi
time.
$50?
$36, something like that.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
$36 back then.
It was not
Yeah,
much back then.
there wasn't
You
a lot of
couldn't
money in there.
yeah.
The other thing that happened, if you have to go back to internet history, there was a big thing that happened. I don't know. Have you ever heard of the name Amanda Todd suicide?
Yes.
So Amanda Todd was on Blog TV back then. She was a regular viewer of mine. She was always in our chat room a lot. And yeah, that kind of put a
Okay.
damper on things. I said, I'm done with all this. This is nonsense. This is when swatting was starting up. People were delivering pizzas to your houses and Amanda Todd committed
Oh,
suicide. People
oh,
can Google that
wow,
whole
already
thing.
then. Okay.
This is all this stuff was just, people were doxing you. It was really getting dangerous. So it was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. And I was doing it for fun, but I was like a full-time streamer making 0 money for 5 years, but I enjoyed it and the fun was gone. Like, I'm out of here. I can't take this. People are committing suicide. No, there was a lot of weird things going on back then. So I stopped. I just literally just stopped. Done. One day just gone.
And what made you come back then?
Well, Twitch, Justin TV switched over to Twitch, right? And
Mhm,
so some of the other people that left Blog TV ended up within a year switching over to You Now. I don't know if you ever heard of You Now.
mm-mm,
They're around now, but nobody watches them. Um, they got bought out by You Now because they completely failed because of the Amanda Todd and some other things. The whole thing was just a big mess back then. So, yeah, Blog TV ended up just failing. The whole thing was, about safety and security. It was really getting bad.
mhm,
Um, so then I started getting, man, I really miss streaming. So I partnered with another streamer that was over there. And so we went on to Twitch. I said, look, I want to try Twitch, but I want to stream video games because people are doing video games now. So we did the trucking thing, which I do today. The same exact game was a Euro Truck Simulator,
mhm.
and so we would go on there, and she would be in Phoenix. I would be here. We would connect on Skype. She'd on the green screen. She had some radio background as well. She used to work with Tom Green, the comedian. So she
Ah, you
kind
did
of,
another podcast with her, right? I think, right?
yeah, we did a goofy
Mhm,
podcast just for fun, just to,
mhm,
whatever, just experimenting different things because there was a lot of experimenting going on with, how to create shows,
mhm.
content. Um, so we would go on this thing called Truckers MP, which is multiplayer of the Euro Truck Simulator that you guys see out there now. And we would do this thing called trolling for truckers. So we were literally going on Twitch and trolling the other players out there. So she would get on camp because no girls were playing this game. What girl would play Euro Truck Simulator back in 2013? So we would go on there
Still.
and we would go into a parking lot where all these multiplayer trucks are sitting, and she would get on that. I would mute. She goes, "Hey boys," and they're all like chatting. She would jump in. They'd silent. It's like a bunch of geeks. Like, oh my god, there's a girl in here. And they
Mhm.
go, hi. And we're in a pink truck. We did this whole thing. And we're recording all this. It was just something different to do. And
Yeah, I
then
I
people
saw that
start
actually, a couple of it. It was actually pretty funny and entertaining.
yeah. And then people start picking up on it. So then we'd get stream sniped and everything because people would then try and run us off the road and stuff like that. Now you can't do that. But back then you could just take trucks out and
Mhm.
people were figuring out what we were doing. Yeah.
This
So it was more of I didn't stream a lot. We were trying to play. It was hard to do the schedule, try and get her on there when I'm on, across the country. It was like, it was
Yeah.
just something fun to do, but it never really, I wasn't used to this gaming thing yet. And I don't know. And now I wanted to just concentrate on my career. Yeah, in the fire department. I'm still working in the fire department full time. And I started doing a lot of teaching around the world. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to concentrate on the fire department thing. So I just stopped doing it again.
That's amazing. That's so interesting. Did your family supported you all the way, or was it like you had to they were looking at you like, "I mean, what you're doing, this is weird stuff."
I
Like
think everybody thought
family
I
and
was
friends?
nuts. Even today, now that at my age, and I
Mhm.
went back into streaming again, people think I'm nuts. People just look at me like, I mean, I quit 2 jobs during the pandemic. I quit 2 good, fun retirement gigs that were great with
Mhm.
great benefits to do this because of the pandemic. Because that's
Mhm.
when I came back is during the pandemic. I was bored out of my mind. I'm sitting in front of this computer with all these screens, microphones. I already had everything where people were scrambling to start streaming. I
Yeah,
had
you have
everything ready
everything.
to go. All I
Mhm.
had to do was turn it on. I mean, I had to
Mhm.
set it all up and everything.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
already had a stream deck. I had the smaller one. I already had the microphone. I already had a mic stand. I already had monitors. I already had a game. I already
What
had a game from playing games anyway.
what do you tell people if they don't know you and you meet them, they ask you like, "Yeah, what you're doing," or something? Do
I don't
you make
tell them.
fun of them and tell them, like, truth, or do you make a game out of it? Like, "Well, what do I tell them today?"
What am I supposed to tell people my age? People my age think I'm out of my mind. I tell them, hey, you go do you. You go argue about politics. I'm going to go over here and play some SnowRunner or something like that. I'm going to go have fun.
Mm.
I'm not going to, because people my generation, they think video games are bad.
Mhm.
You think about it, I mean, that's a whole different age. I mean, I grew up, as soon as I played Pong when that came out, I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting in my room. I'm sitting on the floor in front of a tube TV, not flat
Mhm.
screen, guys. Tube, and
True.
yes, it's 2 stupid lines with a dot. But
Mhm.
back then, that was a big deal. That changed everything. That I didn't have to go to arcade to play a game and throw a quarter in a machine. That was a big deal back then. I remember that to this day. I fell in love with gaming. And even before that, they had text games. Like there were no pictures. You had a story and you had to
Mhm.
type in the exact word, turn left, go south, go west, all these weird commands. But gaming, when it became visual, oh, that was just amazing. I was in love with it. I've been a hardcore gamer
But
for
what's the
40
first
years.
game you ever played then? What's the first game?
Pong.
Pong was the first. Okay.
Well, I have to think back. There might have been a text game before that. That was all words, no pictures. Because I don't know if Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was before Pong or not. I have to go back.
I don't know either. It's too
I
far
don't
away.
know. Because I played that. There were a bunch of them that were just text on a regular IBM PC. You know what I mean?
My very first game was Robot, but I don't think anyone knows that.
Oh, I
Robot.
don't know that one.
Yeah,
Usually I know all the games. I'm not sure about that one.
it was a somewhere some in the 90s. I can't even remember anymore. Do you
Oh, 90s. You're so young.
I'm curious actually about something completely different. Sorry, I'm switching topics again, but
Good.
how is it in the US with I don't even know if you know that. I don't even know if you have it. Do you have a truck? Do you need a truck driver's license in the US to drive trucks?
Yes. It's called a CDL. I can't remember what they call it in Europe because everybody in the chat always tells me what
Is
it
that
is.
is
We'll
that
type it in there. So,
are there different truck driver license, like, depending on the weight of the truck? Because here in Germany,
yeah.
you have different ones. You have a small one, it's called C.
Yeah, this is where a
Sorry.
trucker's gonna call me out because I don't know everything. I know they have different classes within a CDL. CDLs for commercial driver's license, they have different classes. Yeah, you have to be certified in hazmat, all these different things. I was a firefighter. We would go to when trucks flipped over or crashed or spilled or exploded, but I didn't drive. We had tractor trailers in the fire department, and we had to know how to drive them, and we had to take truck driver courses and backup and all that, but we're exempt from CDL because we're not commercial. So military, farming, and public safety are exempt from CDL in most states in the United States. Class A is the top one, though.
It's
Someone
funny
just typed in the chat.
it's funny because I have actually here, nobody knows. I actually have a truck driver's license myself for the big ones,
It's
for the
HGV, right? Overseas.
how is it called, you mean? If
Yeah, the
in
truck
Germany
driver.
I don't know, in Germany, you have C or C1E. And
Oh,
the
okay.
C1E is the big one, up to 40, shit, how you call that in English? 40, the big ones. I don't know,
Gotcha. Gotcha.
the big ones.
The big one. Big trucks.
But honestly, it's so long ago. If I would have to drive one again, I probably would have to take a few hours again and learn it because it's really different to the smaller ones. The smaller ones is easy peasy, but the big ones you need to know a lot more shit about that. But it was fun because when I made my license, I was 19 and
Oh, wow.
everyone looked at me like, "What is she doing there?" You know? Ah,
What's a
oh,
woman
oh,
driving a truck
oh,
for, right?
actually, I just remember it was even funnier. When I made my license, and you have to do the theoretical stuff before you drive, of course, you know? I don't know
Yeah.
if it's there the same, but first you have to do the theoretical stuff, and then if you're done with that, positive everything, then you go and make your practical on another day.
Yeah.
So, and I went there to my theoretical stuff, and then I sit down, they gave me the paper, we have to open it and start, and I looked at it and I was like, "This is for a car driver license. I'm not here for the car driver license." And he looked at me, "Yeah, but you're a girl and you're
Yeah, exactly.
19." And I was like, "So still, I'm here there, you know? And I
Right.
have that already." So they made me drive with my tutor to their official thing there, pick up my exam, whatever, my sheet, my paper. It was closed. I had to pick it up. It was closed. I had it on, on me in front of me. Then we had to drive back. And then I had to make it. I was like, "You're kidding me, you know?" I mean, you're already nervous because of that. And then you make me pick it up again, drive
Yeah.
back and then make it. But I will never forget it. It was so fun. And then for the practical license, it was pretty much the same. The guy who came there looked at me, from top of bottom, and he really gave me a hard time. But I don't know. I didn't do anything wrong, so he had to let me go, you know? Well,
Our
he
tractor trailers have a guy on the back that steers, and it's kind of cheating.
it is
Little
kind of
tiller guy back there. It's kind of fun. But
it is. It is fun to drive these things, so it is
Oh
really
yeah.
tough. I mean, you see everything. I mean, this is the best thing ever. Like you can see everything. Let's back to streaming here. I'm sorry, I lost a little bit. So you started with the pandemic as a Facebook. You switched from Twitch to Facebook. Any reason for that?
I never went back to Twitch after probably 2016. I
Hmm.
tried. I don't know. It was something I can't remember what it was about Twitch. It was just something about back then. It's different now than it was, back then. But I don't know. I just didn't. I don't know. I can't remember. I tried a bunch of different platforms. There's Mixer, which we all know that was a debacle. I tried that for 2 weeks. That was a horrible experience. I'm like, this sucks. And I was not surprised it failed. It was horrible. Um, I can't remember all the different platforms that's been out there. There's a bunch of them. And there's still a ton of them out there today, but there's really only three platforms. Um, there's a bunch of these tiny ones out there that are thinking they're going to do something, but they're just copying Twitch and they're not going to go anywhere. It's a waste of time. Mixer, I tried.
Well,
There's
Mixer
a
would not be a good choice in 2020.
No, that was horrible. That was horrible. And then Facebook took them over. No, the interface was horrible as a streamer. I tried 2 weeks. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing ever. It's too complicated. Um, but then during the pandemic, I'm like, all right, if I'm going to stream, see, I already been through the crap with streaming. I know there's haters. I know the trolls. I know all the nonsense. So
Mhm.
before I did it, I actually thought about it for a week. I'm like, do I really want to get back into this? And then I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to use Facebook because everybody's already in Facebook. It's the one place I had not streamed at. But if I go on Facebook, see, here's the difference between streaming on Twitch and Facebook. You go on Twitch, none of my friends will ever know I'm over there. It's anonymous. I'm over there having a good time. My friends would never ever know. You
Mhm.
go on Facebook, all your family, your friends, your coworkers, everyone's gonna know about this. And
Mhm.
they will judge you by it. So
Mhm.
I was thinking, do I really want to do this? Because they really didn't think much of me back then when I did it. If I do it now retired, what are they gonna think? I'm like, oh hell with it. So I went on there not and I think I was worried about it. I went on there without wearing all this. I was not Rockland USA. I went on there as myself, thinking I was Rock, but I just went on there just wearing normal clothes. I'm playing SnowRunner. It just came out, and nobody watched. It was a dud. Zero. We all started zero, right?
I just
And
want to say we all start 0.
we
What I
all
mean,
started zero. I'm like, oh my god, this is a horrible experience. I knew to talk, so I'm playing and I'm talking. The only people that showed up were trolls and hey, old man, get off there. That's all it showed up. Like, all right. So I did 3 days of that nonsense. Like, all right, I'm worried about what people think. That's why I'm not having fun. If I'm going to do this, I'm going to go back in the way I used to do it. So I went and got the sunglasses back out. I used to wear a bandana. I now wear a ball cap. I said, I'm going in as my crazy self. And if people don't like it, then we won't do it. I came back. I took a day or two off. I came back. I got my stream deck all set up. I'm like, we're going to go crazy. I came back in like a hurricane. Yeah, like I've had laryngitis since that day. I came in there, every little thing, yelling, having a great time. And I actually had a great time doing it. I said, I don't care what people think. All of a sudden, people started showing up because I probably didn't know what the hell was going on. Number one, and I started doing truck sim again because that's what I used to do on Twitch. I said I'm bringing back my Euro Truck Simulator because that's what I do. And there was American Truck Simulator. I was like, I'm going to do my trucks because that's what I do. I started going crazy, and as people fed into it, I'm like, oh, this is working. And then I doubled down, tripled down. I kept going. I hit it within a month. My first month of streaming, we had viewers through the roof, and the followers were flowing in.
I think you were a Facebook partner within 3 months or something, right?
Oh yeah, it only took 3 months, which
Which is crazy. But
it
on the
was
other
cool.
hand,
It was cool, but what was the other hand? What were you gonna say? Because it was not good in another way. What were you gonna say?
oh, no, 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 not at all. I was thinking about, when Facebook took over Mixer, that was that in 2020 or 2019?
It was right during the pandemic.
Right?
Yeah, it was right. I think
So I think
it
you
might have
really hit
been
also good
2020
timing.
early.
I
Yeah.
I think you hit a good time because you were streaming always with a schedule, right? You were on every day.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
I think so.
every single day.
Yeah. So
Same I did the same recipe. I already knew the
I
recipe.
think the recipe was really good for you, especially in the beginning with Facebook when they try to push and the algorithm is pushing, especially when you're on every day, et cetera, and the numbers. But what did you think? Like what wasn't good about you picking up so quickly?
Well, we definitely benefit from COVID. All the streamers did
Mhm.
because everyone stayed at home and Netflix went up. All the streaming services went through the roof. Everybody, their
Mhm.
stocks went through the roof. People like video streaming. So Facebook, I think, I don't know, nobody knows the algorithm. I think they just pushed out all live streams because that's what people wanted.
Mhm.
So all of us were benefiting. So, I mean, I would be stupid to think I didn't get all these followers because of the pandemic. I mean, that was everybody did.
Yeah.
Everybody exploded.
Everyone.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it wasn't just me, it was just the way it worked. I mean, they pushed all of us out, but they looked for things they wanted to push out. The only bad thing was is because I had such a big background in streaming for so many years. I already had sunglasses, I already did trucking. A lot of people, and I have a lot of empathy for people like this. They did not know who I was before because I'd never streamed there before.
Mhm.
So there were other people that were doing similar things. So people perceived that I was copying them when I went into Facebook. So I was
Ah.
starting to get judged a lot because they had never seen me. I just came in like a royal, I started goofing. I mean, going crazy. I had dice. I initially started with a cow head, I mean, a horse thing, because that's what we used to do on Twitch. But I did not know there was a creepy horseman on Facebook. I didn't know who all the streamers were. I immediately had to switch. I'm like, oh my God, I'm now pissing off people about a horse. So now I have a mascot of the cow. That's where the cow came from. Everything on my stream is now about cows and now, that's how that happened. Um, a lot of little things that happen on the stream are picked up from the community, or I had to make quick adjustments because I did not realize another streamer was doing it. I honestly did not know. I did not know because I tend to stick to myself. I don't like to look at other streams and that because it can mess with your head. And then without not knowing, you could end up replicating another streamer and not even realize it in what you say and stuff like that. So I try to stay focused. Like I have too much work to do in my own stream to worry about other people. So I know a lot of people don't think that's true, but it was coincidental in some things. I quickly changed once I realized, oh crap, I can't have horses in my themes. I wasn't wearing a horse head, but we had horsey things. So I'm like, oh crap, I can't do that anymore. I just
You really
quickly,
believe that?
what's that?
You really believe that? Like,
Oh no,
how
I trust me, I get it because I got all the messages. You're just copying. I'm like, I don't
okay.
even know who this
So
is.
hateful. I can't it's
Oh no,
interesting.
yeah.
It's interesting because, like, my gut feeling is telling me, like, why would he let other people dictate how he's entertaining or not? But there's so much more to it, right? There's so much,
Yeah, I
hate
mean, I wanna be part
messages,
of the
stuff like
community. I
this,
wanna
right?
come across yeah, I don't wanna be a
Mhm.
copy. I'm not a copycat, but
Yeah.
a lot of people had no idea I had streamed
Yeah.
all these years. I had already done this. I'd already done trucking sims
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
and
get it.
because it accelerates so fast, people that had been already streaming there 1 or 2 years trying to get partner, when I got partner in 3 months, that
Yeah.
triggered a
It
whole
triggered.
'nother thing, and, you know, I don't know what to say. I mean, they give you they seek out the partners back then. Now they have numbers, but it is what it is. I mean,
It is
I
what it
didn't tell
is.
them to make me partner, but then people really got upset. Why is he getting partner? He just started a couple months ago, and we
Mhm.
already had 100,000 followers by the time we hit December when we
How
got
many do
partner.
you have now?
We are 5,000 away from 300,000
Yeah, yeah,
in a
almost
month, in a
300,000,
year and
right?
a half. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good job. Um, damn it. I just had a question in my mind. Forgot it because you were saying something. Ah, yeah.
And,
Uh,
yeah. Go ahead.
sorry. You said something before a minute ago about there's so much more for you in point of work than just going live. Of course, I mean that's all we know as streamers. But it's so hard
Right.
sometimes to explain to people, because I mean streaming is probably for you like 30% of the work you really do. So how does the other percentage look like in your day? What else do you do?
Yeah, I just did a podcast with Stone Mountain 64 the other day. He's the first partner, I believe, on Facebook.
Mhm.
Huge guy. We were talking about this same thing. People only see the stream part. People don't see that successful streamers or streamers where things seem to go well, all the stuff we do after hours. I may stream 4 to 6 hours in the morning. I start 5 o'clock in the morning and then around 9. I got the rest of the day. I'm answering all the emails. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm working on the next stream. I'm working on alerts. I work on my stream all day. Of course, I have the podcast I'm doing as well. But
You mean
this
the
is
money
like,
podcast now? The money podcast you're doing as well,
yeah,
or
the Rock and Wade podcast, which makes no money.
yeah,
It's kind of a joke.
the money right.
Yeah, the Rock and Wade podcast that has a debt. Yeah. That doesn't make it. Um, but there's so much work that goes into it. And then figuring out what you're going to do and strategizing and that sort of thing. People don't see all that. And I'm trying to redo my schedule so I do more VODs and stuff like that. But people don't see all that work. And a lot of streamers, they all during the pandemic, it was very common. They would see all of us doing well. Oh, I'm going to start driving a truck. I'm going to go buy me steering wheel. I'm going to drive a truck. And then they're like, I can't get any viewers because all they're doing is going live. They don't even plan what they're going to do with the truck. They just log in like, hey guys, we're just go drive a truck. They go drive a truck. And then people come in and out. And they don't stay. Like, well, I'm doing the same thing. I'm driving a truck, but they don't understand there's a lot more to streaming than what you're seeing. You're literally producing a TV show that takes a lot of work. You have to have the personality, you have to have gimmicky things, all that other stuff. And people do not see that. YouTubers that make just regular videos, they'll tell you they're doing 18-hour days. I mean, successful ones, it's a lot of work.
Mhm. What questions do you ask yourself before you go live? Like in point of planning your content?
That's funny because Stone was laughing because I get up at 4 in the morning. I take a shower, get ready. I make my breakfast. I start making my coffee. I come down. It takes me half an hour to set up in the morning before I go live at 5. I start right at 5. I have a checklist. So I literally don't have time. I gotta do this. And I load software in a certain order. I don't leave the computer on overnight. So it boots up. Only run the software I need so nothing crashes. So it's very
Mhm.
super stable stream. I lay out all my screens ready to go, and then I start checking all my stuff. And then if I have a few minutes because I'm running faster than normal, I'm like, or I'll like, oh, all right, what happened last night? Is there what can I talk about? Because it's really a morning talk show with a truck is what I'm trying to do. So sometimes there's nothing going on to talk about, so I have to feed off the chat room.
Mhm.
Um, I can tell you there's many days and you'll probably laugh this, where I'll wake up in the morning. I'll sit here before I go live, like, I don't want to do this today. I just don't feel like it. I don't want, or I'll wake up, I'm like, I don't want to go down there and stream today. I just want to sleep in. Every creator does it. I'm like, nope, I'm going to get up. I'm going to do this. But I'm telling you, 100% of the time, when I hit that go live button on Facebook and that chat room fills up, and they're just like, good morning, Rock. And they're saying good morning to each other, the whole Rock Squad that everything just goes away. I'm like, I'm good to go. I'm having a ball. The family is together. We're just having a ball for a couple hours, and that's all it really is. And the chat just moves. It's
Mhm.
just so much fun.
That's amazing.
Because I do simulations, I can interact with chat more than if I'm doing Battlefield or Call of Duty or something like that. Because then I'm trying not to die. But
Mhm.
because I'm doing a simulation, it allows me to do more interaction with my chat room. So I can drive. Now I crash a lot. That's because I make my chat room our priority over the game.
And
That's
that's
how.
actually really entertaining when you crash. I saw a few crashes of yours, and it's like every time you make a story out of it, or you're like, "I'm hurt,"
Like,
or
good
something.
morning.
I never before I saw you. If somebody would have somebody told me, I'm doing truck simulator, I would have said like, okay, driving a truck sounds fun, in real life. No,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
right? But you make it fun. You really make it entertainment. So, guys, if you have never seen a stream of him, I really recommend just give it a try. This dude is so entertaining from the beginning to the end. And this is the thing as well. When you start a stream, and I think very streamers who are maybe starting out or asking themselves, how can I be better or whatever. I think just watching the first minute or two of your stream, people can learn a lot from that because you're there. It's like what you said. You use that button, and then you go live, and immediately you're there. And you're taking
Yeah.
everyone in, and you're talking and engage with them. Um,
I want to clarify that just a tad. You're totally right. But how
but
I stream on Facebook is not how I would stream if I was on Twitch. You have to stream. The biggest thing I can add on to that is whatever platform you're on, you do exactly what the platform wants you to do.
how would you do
Facebook
it on Twitch
tells
then?
you,
How would you do it on Twitch?
I don't know if Twitch has a best practices page, but Facebook Gaming has a list on
Ah,
Facebook Gaming of best practices. And they give you a list of what to do and what not to do. I guarantee you 90% of the streamers that aren't doing well aren't doing any of that stuff on that page. If they would
I didn't
do
even know that there is that page. I
if
didn't
they
know
would
that.
do the list that Facebook tells them what to do because they want you to succeed. If you do well,
Yeah,
they
they
do well
earn, of course. They
because
they
it's an
earn.
ad-based platform, right?
Yeah.
So if you do well, they want you to do well. But people have so much negativity on Facebook. Yes. Do they have are they perfect? No. Do they have problems? Yes. But they want you to succeed. The list is right there. 100% of the streamers that come to me asking for help, I will like, all right, are you doing everything Facebook tells you? Yes. Fine. Show me your page. I always ask them a question before I look at their page. Then I go look at the page. Within seconds, I can see they're not doing what Facebook told them to do. I said, hey, I need you to go to this page, do everything Facebook told you to do, and then come back to me. 100% of them never come back to me because they want me to just tell them what to do. And I gave them a list, but they don't want to make those changes. The
Mhm.
very first thing they have on the page is don't have a countdown timer when you start your stream on Facebook. That's the very first thing on their list. And I see all these brand new streamers
Hmm.
because they see Twitch people do it. Now, Twitch people, that's different. There's no algorithm over there, right? It's not a social network. So, yeah, the alerts go out and you wait for people to come in. That's different. Facebook, that recording, what you just said about me watching me in the first minute, the reason why I go right into it, why Stone Mountain goes right into it, everybody goes right into the game, is because that video is now a video on the platform that as people take their phone and scroll, they see whatever the very first thing is they see on there. If they see a countdown timer, they move on. If they see some idiot with sunglasses and a cow, they stop. Like, what the hell is this? What's that truck doing or whatever like that? Yeah, you can trim off the front part of it.
Hmm.
It's like a TikTok video, right? You're going through TikTok and what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
you're
yeah, I get
seeing
it. I
something.
get it. I
Yeah,
I I totally, you blow my mind. I don't know what I do wrong on Facebook.
that's the very first thing on the list. And another thing out there, you got to keep talking. I can't tell you how many times I look at streamers with no viewers and they're not even talking. If you have no viewers, you need to talk as if there's 100 people in the room. I don't care. Just narrate what you're doing. I don't care. You got to keep talking.
At
I
least we have a
started at
podcast
zero.
here.
I mean, all these things are right there on the list. But
Mhm.
remember, this is Facebook. Yeah, a lot of things work on Twitch too, but the countdown timer, yeah, you don't do that. But they see people on YouTube or Twitch doing countdown timers, say bring it over to Facebook when
Mhm.
that's the number one thing you don't do. And
Mhm.
I see them all over the place.
Yeah.
Title screens, all this stuff. Yeah, get rid of the title screens, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Don't do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What else do you see? What streamers could do better or do wrong?
I don't like
What else
talking
comes
about
down
other
to mind?
streamers. I like talking about other streamers. Oh, okay. So audio,
Mhm.
in my opinion, and many others, audio is the number one thing. People think it's video, it's audio. If the sound does not
Agreed.
sound good, nobody wants to see it. Now, granted, it's muted when you're going through on Facebook or Twitch or wherever, but your sound has got to be pristine. Your sound effects have to be leveled out. My mix, I learned this from radio. I'm surprised how many streamers don't have the final broadcast mix in their headphones. They're wearing these stupid headphones. I mean, I'm wearing stupid headphones, but they don't have the final mix in their head. Like what I hear is what you hear. So when I have the game or like how many times have you heard a streamer say, "Hey guys, is that game too loud?" You shouldn't have to ask that question. You should hear it. You should hear the mix that they hear. Like the sound effects. Is that too loud? Is that music too loud? You should know if that's what does it sound like to you? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, I
on
know
your
what you're saying.
OXLR, your broadcast mix should be coming in your head, not
Mhm.
the game. Or a lot of people just have the game going in their head, which, you know, I get that from radio. The DJs, the radio talk show guys, they hear themselves in the headset, which is
Mhm.
why I use this headset as opposed to any other wireless headset because you get that latency and you can't, people stumble because they have a latency. They don't want to hear themselves.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they have
yeah.
to ask that question. But this is the Steel Series is the only one that does not have latency. By the way, I'm not sponsored by Steel Series. I'm just telling you a fact. This is one of the only headsets that doesn't have any latency in it, which is why I
Interesting.
like these. I normally don't wear I prefer wired headphones.
Oh,
Like,
really?
um, yeah, these are biodynamics.
Mhm.
Ninja, a lot of these people use these nicer headphones. These are studio headphones. They're not gamer headphones.
Yeah.
But I would prefer to have wired.
Good German
Like,
quality.
but the problem is my steering wheel, it's tangled up with a cord, so I had to switch over and get me a wireless set when I do driving.
Yeah.
So that's where I end up with these. So
But agree with the audio. I think the audio is really most people don't think about how important it is because many times for myself when I'm watching streams, I'm too busy to just watch a stream, but I want to listen to that person, you know? So that's exactly what you're saying. So I want to listen to that person. I can't watch the stream, but I'm listening basically. But if you don't have good audio, it really is not that fun.
and
So
as a result of that, a number of my people, because I'm on early morning, I am their morning talk show. They listen to me in their car as they go to work.
you
And
see.
that ended up being a side effect, which I never thought would happen. I have truckers that listen to me in their truck as they're driving, they're not watching. They just want to hear all
Yeah.
this stuff. So I read as much of the chat as I can. We talk about a lot of things. I just keep it
Hmm.
rolling. So it's turned out to be kind of that kind of format.
Hmm. So
You know,
what
fun
else? Audio is important. What else?
lighting. You
Lighting.
can take the cheapest, crappiest webcam and make it look good if you get light on it, on you. Get the lighting up and running. You know, lighting is a big deal. That one, what that side effects is your video ends up being better. Your webcam ends up being better. Yeah. So you can take a regular Logitech C920. You don't have to go out and buy these Sony DSLRs. I mean, I'm not saying that's bad,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
people,
yeah.
new streamers go out and buy these big, expensive Nikons because they see, oh, well, Soda Poppin's got one. I got to do that. I got to do what Soda Poppin does or something like that. So they go buy all this stuff, even though they don't know why they need it. They buy a certain microphone because they saw someone else has it. Well, that's what streamers have, but they don't even know what they're doing with it. Like, you know, all these people have Shure SM7B microphones, the black one.
Mhm.
50% of them are using them incorrectly. They'll have them like this. They're
Mhm.
talking to the side. These microphones are designed to talk into the top of it. So I laugh when I see all these people because it's a common radio station microphone. You
Mhm.
got it. Actually, I'm kind of using this incorrectly. You're supposed to talk to it directly in. This is
Mhm.
a high LPR 40 is what I use, but same thing. So people are buying equipment only because they see someone with it, but you know, it's not really the right thing that they should use for themselves.
But that's a typical human thing. That's,
Yeah. Yeah.
most people buy stuff and then they don't use it correctly or don't even try to figure out how to use it correctly, I think, right?
And they put it on a credit card thinking they're going to make a bunch of money as a streamer. Now they have the debt on, see the rock on the money part. See, now they're in debt, making it, paying interest on that thing, thinking, oh no, I was going to get bits. I was going to get stars, all this stuff on these different
Mhm.
platforms. And now they're starting to get desperate. So now they start going in other chat rooms, trying to get people to come over to see them. They do all these tactics that are annoying and really, offensive to other streamers because now they're getting desperate because they bought all this stuff that they shouldn't have bought in the first place. And the ultimate thing is they're going to just, when you start getting to that desperate level, you should just stop streaming and sell your stuff because you are done. You're done. There's a point where I think you cross the line like, yeah, you're beyond recovery because you're now not going to do it. You're not looking in the mirror and blaming your, or they start blaming the platform. Twitch sucks. Facebook sucks. Why do I not have viewers? It's Facebook's fault. That's what they start doing. I mean, all this stuff. The algorithm's broken, all this nonsense. No, the algorithm's not broken. You're not doing what they told you to do, and you're not looking in the mirror and taking full responsibility for your stream. You got me on a soapbox.
No, I'm just thinking what you're saying. Like, also, a lot of times I hear people complaining about like other people are not supporting him or her enough, and they are relying a lot from to the outside, and I think this is also part of being healthy while streaming because if you always look to the outside, and not focusing on within, it's it makes you, well, unhappier, I guess, also as
Yeah.
well, instead of taking responsibility. Do you think that's a big problem that streamers don't take responsibility for their own, or don't take ownership for their own actions in point of how?
100%. 100%. You know Gary V, right? Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yes, I know him.
But he says the same exact thing. He preaches that same exact thing. You are responsible for 100% of everything going on. Whether
Mhm.
you have, you know, your news feed has a bunch of, get rid of that news feed crap. Your mom is calling you talking about politics. Say, I don't want to
Shoot
talk to
up
that.
your mom. What?
I mean, you are 100% responsible for everything going on. If you're not happy, take responsibility. Remember, the 5 people you
Yes.
hang out with the most are the
Mhm,
ones, if they're not the people that are bringing you, lifting you up and improving you, you need to get rid of them. Get 5 more friends. There's 8 billion people on this planet. Okay.
mhm.
You'll find more than friends. 100%.
Choose.
Everything that goes on, if you're having a bad day, it's 100% your fault. 100%. Usually ice cream fixes it, chocolate.
What's your perfect morning look like?
Sleeping in, which I've not done in 19 months. I've streamed every single day for 19 months. Even on Christmas morning, I was streaming at 5 a.m. in the morning. I would love to sleep in one day, Rock Squad. They're in the chat room right now. One day, I said, guys, this summer, I will not be streaming every day. I will be taking a few days off eventually. But now, the perfect morning, you mean as far as my stream
No, you, crack
for
Lucky.
me? I don't know. I'm in a good place right now. I'm just happy. It took me a while to figure out how to take responsibility for everything. Like, I am really good at disconnecting from people that are just plain, where's my censor button? If people want to be jerks, hey, snip, goodbye. You can come back when you grow up and be sensible. But no, I'm very good about getting rid of nonsense. I wish I'd done
You
this
switched topics. We were in
years
the
ago.
morning.
No, but,
Well,
but it's true though, because your morning dictates the rest of the way your day is going to be, right? So if
right.
you have something bad going, if the news is bugging you, turn it off. Just
But
make
you're
your
not
day the
even
best
awake. We
day
are
ever.
talking about you waking up. You're not going and are you waking up and actually looking, for news or text the first thing you do?
Nah, now I take a shower and it's part of my routine. I have a set routine for the first hour before I hit go live.
All right,
So I
tell me
don't
that
have
routine.
time for
Let's
anything.
talk about that routine then.
I get up, I
Yes?
grumble about going to stream. Actually, I do pick up my phone. I do pick up my phone, and briefly just check, do I have any messages? Did anything happen overnight? And then because I have a Google Pixel phone, you swipe over this way. So the news that I want, because Google knows what I want. What are
Mhm.
the top news stories? All right, nothing bad happened overnight. Okay, cool. That's a big. I used to be a social media manager at CBS Radio, and so before you go stream, you want to make sure you don't say something bad that this has happened to many brands out there. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I do need to make sure whatever I talk about, something related did not happen bad overnight, or that could be destroy you. So I need to make sure I just scan real quick, take a shower, come down the kitchen, start making my coffee, make a little breakfast, take all my stuff, go down to my streaming desk, pop it down, boot up, light, my Elgato lights, all the
Mhm.
stuff. Everything boots up. I log in. I get the new word from we do a giveaway every month. We give away a VR headset every month.
Cool.
So we have a daily code, just like a radio station. We have that. So I got to get that entered in there, have that updated. I boot up um, OBS. I get everything done. Get the Facebook code to put in OBS that pops up. It says their name for the stars. I do all that stuff. Boot up the game. Make sure I frame out the truck the way I want it to be as soon as I start the stream. I frame it out like a TV show. I make sure
Okay.
the right look is there. Make sure my camera is, in the right place. I pull down my green screen, which is behind me. It's up in the
Ah, so
ceiling.
you really very precise about the
Oh yeah.
very first frame, even
I
you
learned
put
that from
out there.
watching radio shows. And I also took one of those
Hmm.
I took a course in broadcasting at the local what they call public access TV station. I signed up for one of those courses and you get to learn how to make a TV show of the whole thing. Green screens, all that stuff, how they do the news desk, all that kind of stuff. Your light just died.
Again, the second time. I don't know what's
So I
going on.
learned from public access how to make a TV show if I were to do a public access TV show here in America, and you get to do all the stuff, the set design, the audio, music, all that stuff. They have one room that's nothing but green. The desk is green, the chair is green. That way you
Mhm.
can make a virtual desk and all that. So it was neat taking that course. That way, all this information I could kind of use it here on my own. Yeah, just
Whatever. Nobody
yeah.
needs red.
No more purple Twitch color in the back. Um, but as I got money from stars, I reinvested 100% into my stream. Then I got better green screen, the bigger Go XLR. I upgrade as I go, and unless I need it, I don't buy it. Does it really improve my stream, or is it something that I have to force myself to make my stream better? You know what I'm saying? So I'm very careful about what I buy, and so I keep my stream super streamlined. The more equipment, the more things go wrong, like you're late. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? I keep it super streamlined so I can have fun and not have to worry about things breaking or a stream going offline.
That's very cool. That's very
Very
interesting.
streamlined.
Um, what what character traits do you have that led to your success as a streamer, which you think other streamers should have or gain if they don't have that? It's a difficult
I've
question.
learned a lot of skills over time that somehow converged in to make it easier for me to do this. Like working at a real radio station, a major one. Like first I volunteered on a radio show and then the other radio shows wanted me to do that. And then I was able to go in there and learn how they do. I know broadcast radio is not the same as streaming, but there's a lot of things that you can pull from that will actually work. Then CBS actually hired me to do social media management because I was very good at social media management. This is in the mid 2000s. Um, when podcasting was first starting with Apple, I had to convince CBS Radio to let me take the talk shows and turn them into podcasts. They thought I was the execs in New York City thought I was out of my mind. Like, why would we do that? I'm like, no, I can take portions of the radio show and put it on Apple iTunes and people can download it. They're like, why would someone in California care about our show here in Washington, DC? I'm like, and then they're worried about advertisers. This is old school. I
Mhm.
said, no, you could put ads actually in the podcast. They're
Mhm.
like, okay, but let's see what happens. They said nobody's going to listen to it. Only live radio people don't want to listen to a radio show that's recorded. So I did that, and I still have my screenshots because they were watching how the Washington D.C. area was doing these podcasts. This is after Howard Stern. You know who Howard
Mhm.
Stern is?
Yeah.
Howard Stern had just left Infinity Broadcasting, which now CBS Radio went to Sirius
Wow.
Radio. So CBS was in a panic. They brought David Lee Roth on to be there, and they just hired me on there. I did not know Howard was leaving till my first day at CBS Radio in Washington, and I'm the social media guy for all the radio stations. And that morning, I hear David Lee Roth on there in this free FM thing. So I'm like, where did Howard Stern go? Oh, yeah, he left. So now you have to do a social media management of this new radio. I didn't know what. Anyway, I
That's crazy.
posted these podcasts. So podcasting was my idea. And I post them, and then son of a gun, if you went to talk radio in iTunes, all the all the shows that were at Washington D.C. were number one across the board, every single one. And I beat out everybody, every other podcast on their own talk radio. And then they started freaking out up in New York. And then they wanted me to leave the fire department, come to New York, but I declined and I quit.
You did that all beside the fire department work.
Yeah, the benefit was the at the time, the home office for CBS Radio, where a lot of this was coming out, was called WJFK. It was actually based in the county, right in the center of the county. I worked in the fire department, and we work 10 days a month average, 24-hour days. So we get our hours in quick. So on my days off, I would drive right to the radio station and do that stuff. And then they would, because they know I would work on at home and at the fire station while I'm
Yeah.
that, they were very flexible because I was doing really well and they liked it because they were freaking out. Like I said, Howard Stern had just left and this was
Interesting.
helping them a lot with the advertisers.
And it's again, I love that you see opportunities and you're not freaking out, you're jumping right in there and then even trying to implement new ideas and new stuff there. I love that. I love that. Frugal
It
Streamer
drives
here.
people crazy, though. Trust me. It drives people crazy because they
So
don't wanna
what?
take the risk. They don't
So
wanna take
what?
the risk, so I know.
Yeah. I love it. We have a question in here, chat. Guys, a reminder again, if you guys have any questions for Rockland USA here, please just put them in the chat. Frugal Streamer here wants to know, what do you use to mix or process your audio?
Okay, I used to do radio station stuff, like have a vocal enhancer, a regular mixer, all this stupid electronic. Again, too many cables and
Too many
wires thing to
things,
go
yeah.
wrong. And I don't know why, but it wasn't until last year I took the stars I got from the community to buy Go XLR.
Mhm.
Why the hell did I not buy a Go XLR so much earlier? That one thing has greatly simplified my entire life. Once you know how to use it, um, I just I just leave it on. I never turn the damn thing off. I boot up, everything runs through that now, and
Mhm.
that has helped me out a lot.
Mhm.
Go XLR. I don't have any other enhancers whatsoever. I prefer this mic over a Shure Apps. I used to have a Shure S7B years ago. I sold
Mhm.
it. I switched to this one because I went out to California, a business trip, and I went. I don't know if you know who Leo Laporte is.
Mhm.
Twit.tv. They've been streaming for years. He's a big podcaster, but they do a lot of tech related live video streaming 24 hours a day. And he used to be on
Okay.
Tech TV
Okay.
years ago on regular cable TV. But I was sitting in his office as he did his radio show. He's syndicated across the United States. And then he took me on a tour and showed me all the equipment. This is what they use. And he swears by these over the Shure SM7B, and they're geeky. They have a lot of people from Silicon Valley. They're located right outside Silicon Valley, and they get a lot of brainiacs through there. So I gobbled up all that information that can make streaming better, and I'm now finally implementing all that stuff. But the Go XLR, to answer your question, which a lot of streamers have, that's what I use. And I wish I had bought this thing years ago. Um, it's $600, but oh my God, the stress-free life of that thing. Just plug your mic in the back of it. It's a little wonky setup at first. Chris Heller, oh, what's his name? I can't remember the guy. Alpha Gaming, Alpha Gaming.
How was hello?
Harris Heller. So
Mhm.
he has a great video on how to set it up, and I use that video to set mine up, and it works perfect. So,
Yeah.
and then I go
I
from
I
there. But
actually bought it and I had to send it back because it doesn't work with Mac.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm on a Windows PC. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I know. I need to switch to a PC eventually, but right now I just don't have the money for it, so I'm stuck on my iMac here. But I mean,
Yeah, but yeah,
it
that
is how it
Harris
is.
Heller video is the best one for of all the ones out there. I think his is the best in setting it up. It's an old video, but it works great.
You gotta check out Pan here. He has really, really good tutorials as well.
Okay, cool.
He's really has really I don't know if Pan ever made one on the XLR actually, but you gotta let us know, Pan. There were actually 2 other questions here. Until what age do you plan to stream? Until what age do you plan to stream?
That's a funny question.
That is a
I
funny
joke
question.
about I'm gonna do this from my nursing home bed. So
I think that's not a bad
we'll be
idea.
doing hologram streaming or something by that point. I don't know what we'll be doing. We'll be in I don't know if what this metaverse crap is going to be at that point, but who knows where we're going. But I'm going to do this for a while. I may not be like full time. I do need to do better at making videos and producing VODs more for
Okay.
YouTube, and not stream so much because that's really the correct way of doing it. I'm doing it really the wrong way
Yeah, you
because
need
the
to get
streams
more
aren't
content
very
out, right?
big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not doing it, but I have so much fun with my community. I mean,
Mhm.
like legit.
Mhm.
My day is so much better when I get to wake up and start my day with I'm not making this up. I They make my day, and my whole rest of the day is still available, and, I just have fun. It would be weird. I would wake up one morning like, "Okay, I'm not gonna stream tomorrow morning. Tomorrow I'll sleep in." I'm not gonna be able to sleep in. Are you kidding me? I mean, man, I could be down there streaming, talking to my community,
That's
you know?
I mean, there's nothing bad about it, you know?
I know, but
I have the feeling you still feel not 100% good about it somehow because of whatever reason, social, pressure, whatever it is. But
Well,
I think in the end, if that makes you happy, shouldn't that be enough?
I because I left 2 good jobs, good retirement gigs to do this, I'm kind of forced to do it now because I left some fun stuff to now do this. So I'm like, if I can't just stop this now.
Mhm.
Okay, here's a tidbit they all know in the chat room. This is gonna blow your mind. You ready for this?
Yes.
You've already researched. You probably don't know about this one thing I used to do. Did you go to my Instagram account?
Yes. What did
Did
I
you
not
see
see
me
there?
doing another job on the Instagram account
I can't
before this?
remember right now. Mm-mm. I still
2 was it 2 years ago? 3 years ago. Okay, I was working for Marriott Hotels. The
Mhm.
headquarters is right here in my neighborhood, right?
Okay.
And so I worked in fire protection. I would go out as they have a lot of retired firefighters. We go out and we inspect hotels and resorts all across North America, the Caribbean. So I got to fly every day on airplanes,
Mhm.
5 days a week, and I loved it. And
Mhm.
we got to spend $150 a day on meals. It was a great gig, and
Mhm.
you get to stay in these great hotels. For some reason, I kept getting courtyards, which is not that great, but occasionally I get the resort. Okay. Um, but I chose to fly on Southwest Airlines every single time because I prefer Southwest. I live in the Washington, D.C. area. Baltimore BWI Airport is like 90% Southwest. I can get to anywhere on Airlines here in the States.
Mhm.
So as I'm flying on Southwest one time, the flight attendant, some guy comes up. He's got his apron on. He's got like police badges and little things. They're allowed to be a little more relaxed than other airlines. He goes, "Oh, I'm a retired FBI agent." I'm like, "Wait a minute, what are you doing this for?" He goes, "Oh, this is great." I say, "Dude, I'm a retired fireman." So he goes, "Hey, come in the back and plane. I'm going to talk to you about this." So I go in the back of the airplane. He goes, "Hey, man, this is the greatest gig ever." He goes, "There's a bunch of cops and firemen doing this. They're flight attendants." I'm like, "What?" So he told me all of it. I'm like, he goes, "Man, you gotta do this." So I signed up to be a flight attendant at Southwest, and they love it when military, fire, and police on it because if anything goes wrong,
Yeah.
we don't put up with anything on the airplane. They love it when we're on the plane because
Yeah.
yeah, you're on the safest planes ever. So they got me in. I went down, took the training. I was a flight attendant for a year and a half before. But then the pandemic screwed up everything. If it weren't for the pandemic, I'd still be on those airplanes right now. I was a flight attendant.
Do you
How you
miss
like
it?
that? Huh?
Do you miss it?
I actually do. It was great. That was a great gig. The pilots loved that I was a retired firefighter because they're retired military. A lot of these guys flew fighter jets. Now they're
Mhm.
flying 737s, right? I
Mhm.
got set up in the cockpit. I was like a kid on a little a little kid in a fire truck. I'm in the cockpit of 737s all the time. They
Do
didn't
you
want the ladies come up there.
you also, you learn how to fly right now. Do you have your license already? Are you finished
I
with it?
just started learning how I'm working on my pilot license.
You're
So I
still
figured
yeah, you're still on it. I thought you had it maybe already.
my happy place is being in the sky. I love being on airplanes. It's something about looking out the window, seeing clouds. That's why I love business travel. And then I did the flight attendant thing. It was just fun being up in the sky. You're away from all the nonsense, right? I'm like, okay, crap. Now I'm a gamer. I'm streaming. How can I get back up there? So I'm now taking a pilot license. I got my learner's permit, and I just finished ground school and
Mhm.
got top of the class, and now I'm getting ready to start doing my flight hours. And so, yeah, and I'm gonna start
I
streaming
think that's also good
Flight
for
Simulator.
vlogs,
Yeah, What's
for
that?
vlogs, you know?
Yeah. So that's gonna be a lot of great content for YouTube, obviously,
Mhm.
because I've now been, I don't know if you can see this thing. This is my new wheel stand, which has all the radio stacks, everything that works with Flight Simulator. And then I use my iPad, which has the same software I'm using in the airplane in real life. I can hook all this up and then I can talk on a virtual air traffic controller network that's on the internet called VATSIM. So I can
Mhm.
actually put on my headset. I can put on this headset, bring down the microphone. I can actually talk to an air traffic controller in real, a real person and fly virtually. And I can practice all my procedures that I will on a real plane. And the instructors in the past, they would say that was stupid. Now they love that because you end up being a better student. It takes you less time
Mhm.
in flight hours. So it'll actually save me money in the long run, even
That's
though this
cool.
costs money. But this is gonna be brand new content that I'm gonna stream, and my community keeps bugging me. When are you gonna fly the airplanes? When are you gonna start doing flight simulators?
Nice, nice, nice.
So anyway.
Definitely looking forward to see that. We had 2 questions in chat, but we are picking up the second one first because it's still in the topic. So crazy question, I think this is from Pan. What is the best way non-military to get into being a flight attendant?
Oh man, it is okay. It's very difficult to get hired.
Mhm.
Um,
Again.
yeah, at any airline. Southwest Airlines, I can only speak for them. They'll usually get 30,000 applicants. It opens up and it closes within hours because their server gets bogged down. All the flight attendants in North America want to work at Southwest. So they get a lot of flight attendants from other ones, and then new people go in. They prefer to have flight attendants that are brand new that know nothing. They would prefer to have you over a flight attendant from United. Nothing against United, but they can mold you the way they want, and you're not bringing, United stuff over there that's not how they do it.
Mhm,
Because they're totally different airlines. It's a very relaxed airline. I didn't have to wear suits. I didn't have to wear ties. I can wear a polo shirt. It's perfect for me because I ain't wearing no tie in
mhm,
retirement. So, um, you literally apply for it. You have to get on the list. Join Facebook groups or just search flight attendant. You'll find the ones with all brand new, and they're the ones that let you know when your airlines in your country are hiring. So, um, Southwest just did a whole thing because a bunch of retirees left, and they have a ton of positions filled, and they're already running as many classes as they can. The training, at least for Southwest, is in Dallas. They have their own university, and it is the most incredible experience I'd ever been through in my life. I had no idea. They have a real 737 chopped and sitting inside of a classroom, and they cut out the side. So the instructors, all the seats, everything in there, you can serve drinks, you do the whole
mhm.
thing. They can
Cool.
make it catch on fire. They can have someone do things that they're not supposed to do on an airplane,
Mhm,
bombs, whatever. And you got to handle the whole thing. They can have a drunk passenger, this. You got to do the whole thing. And they can monitor the whole thing. They can just use an iPad and make this happen, make that happen, whatever. It was crazy. I mean, you're not even allowed to take pictures of this because a lot of it's secret
yeah.
stuff that they don't want bad guys know what we know. But I can assure you, you are safe on an airplane. I will tell you that.
Damn, that's nice.
My goal, this is the strangest goal, and I don't work there. I can say, I wanted to take someone out. I wanted someone to be so unruly, I had to take them out. They call it eliminate the threat. I used other words, but they said, yeah, we don't call it that. We call it eliminate the threat. I'm like, well, I'd like to eliminate the threat. I never got a chance to do that, but
Damn it.
I know. Damn it. Want to be on the news that, yeah, this flight attendant eliminated the threat and everybody was safe, but it never happened. Everybody was too nice. So,
Hmm. Well, yeah, maybe
but
next
no,
life.
no, you
Maybe next
really
life.
need to just join some groups and be alert to when to sign up. And as soon as when that time opens, like application starts at 5 p.m., you need to be in there, like refreshing that page and get in there and get it time stamped because they go in the order of the timestamp of the application. Because they're not going to go to number 20,000 and look at you. They're going from application one and starting there. If you're way at the bottom, they may never get to you.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
So
Super interesting. Thank you. There was another question. I can't see it anymore, but I think it was from Jaybird, or I think it was Jaybird. Somebody asked, like, and I wanted to ask something similar. It was about toxicity. You said also you have to deal with a lot of toxicity on Facebook, and I think it's also probably a thing. The bigger you get, the more haters you get. Does that bother you at all? Are there bad days, good days? How do you deal with the stress from the outside, basically?
it, I think the benefit of being 59, I don't care. When you turn, probably when you turn 50, your care level is like about that. You don't care. Like, whatever. Yeah, whatever. The only thing that it does, it bugs me that other streamers listen to rumors that are created because people just don't like me because I'm older or whatever. Or I had to ban somebody, so they want to go spread nonsense, which isn't true. And then streamers listen to that and they don't want to confront me. And yeah, I
Yeah.
just wish a lot more streamers would not listen to nonsense, which isn't true, and actually, you know, come to me, talk to me. Let's. So there's some streamers that listen to nonsense that's not true. So no matter what platform you're on, if you ban somebody for a purely legit reason, Are you really think they're gonna go somewhere else and say why they got banned? No.
Mhm.
Can you believe this guy banned me, blah, blah, and they'll make up some nonsense, which is not true. But they did this, and there was
Mhm.
a damn good reason why they got banned. But that's not how it works. We all know that. So other streamers will listen to, yeah, that guy's a jerk. Yeah, I heard that from someone else too. But they have never ever talked to them ever. So they don't know anything about me, but they listen to nonsense. And this happened a lot on blog TV where viewers in chats like to create drama. This happened on Justin TV back in the day. I don't know if it's still going on Twitch or whatever. It's like they want to create their own soap opera. So viewers will go between chat rooms and create drama to get streamers to go at each other, and they would feed on that. That was really popular on blog TV. It didn't start in the beginning, but as the years were going on, that started around. So I learned to stay out of drama really quick. But that was a big comment. I think that's still going on now in just different way. Um, and newer streamers are falling for the bait, and they're just it's a retaliation type thing that goes
Yeah.
on that viewers do, and then streamers fall into it by believing everything they're being told when it's totally not true.
Yeah.
I wish that stuff wasn't going on. Other than that, as far as a troll coming in, I get the hey old man, get a job, get a real job, and all that stuff. I'm the one guy that can say, I'm retired, buddy. When are you going to work today? I don't like to boast that I'm retired, but they picked on the one streamer that can actually say, I'm actually retired. I don't
Mhm.
have to work, but
And you
I
did your
kind of
job.
handle the other streamers. Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with this person being a content creator full time. But that's a common one. Hey, old man, blah, 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 all that nonsense. Or hey, stop driving that truck, get a real truck, all that kind of nonsense. But we're just having fun. That's all it
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
So it doesn't bug me.
Yeah, I mean, it has nothing to do with you also.
When
I
you're 30 years older, you'll understand. You're too young to understand this. But when you get older, you won't care. Care
yeah.
levels like very small.
Um, I like that. Um, one philosophical question: if you would go back in time, let's say actually to the 80s, let's say when you were in your 20s, is there anything you would tell your younger self, what you would do differently in general? Whatever it is.
I never had. I worked as soon as I turned 14. I've never really really never not worked. So I think I got that from my dad. So he had a very high work ethic. Like he was an architect, but he had also a home office where he would on weekends he's in there drawing, doing his buildings, designing buildings at home. So I think I pick up on that. So I think my work ethic is strong because of that. And my poor kids, they're strong workers. So I feel sorry. I should apologize to them because they probably work hard because I do it and my dad did it. It just keeps going on because you replicate what you're around. Um, but they see it works. It's successful. Um, I don't know. I've never had. I wish I had more personal time because once I started the fire department, yeah, personal time kind of went away. And that was at age 24. I was already doing college. I was in college working at Radio Shack. I worked at a private ambulance also at the same time. I've always had multiple jobs. I don't
Mhm.
know why. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself, but so streaming is just a natural thing that works for me because it just keeps me busy. It really is multiple jobs if you think about all the different things you have to do. So to me, it's just natural. I was like born for it. I just didn't realize all the skills I would pick up over time, even working at Radio Shack or being online since '82. I never thought being on CompuServe with a stupid email address that I can't even remember. It was all numbers at CompuServe.com and all this stuff that all this would evolve to where we're sitting here. I'm able to
Mhm.
talk to you overseas, and we're playing
In
video
real
games
time.
in 4K. I mean, I would have
Mhm.
never thought the internet is so much easier now than what it used to be. Instead dial ups and all this stuff. And I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I've just been always busy. As soon as
Well,
I
you
could work,
already answered it. You said you wish you had probably more personal time or
I guess. But
more socialized. But in a way, I guess the other firemen were also your family, right?
but yeah, because you're living them, you can't leave.
Mhm,
You can't leave. You're there for 24 hours. So there's a lot of personalities that just don't work or whatever. Like, you're busy and you rely on each other. When
mhm,
everything goes bad, are they going to have your back or not?
mhm,
And we work together as a team. You're literally like a sports team
mhm,
where everybody has their job, and if everybody better do their job, or it just doesn't work. So, they were my family, and then you have your home family. So, that's the way the fire department is. I cook dinner for everybody, and people would take turns, and we play practical jokes all day when we're not.
mhm.
Idle firefighters are not a good thing. I can tell you that. There's a lot of things that go on in the firehouse. So,
Well, some is okay. Last question about the fire, the
right, right.
firefighter thing. But is there any fun story that stood out to you right now because you said it? So, is there any fun story that is in your mind where you say like, "Man, this was really this. I don't know. This makes me laugh. This makes me smile about it." Like, I don't
Yeah,
know,
I've told this to my audience once before. I'm gonna keep this very generic, and you guys can figure out what's really going on.
because we're on Twitch.
No, because
It's
I don't know
okay.
who's listening. I went, no, no, we're not.
It's
No, because trust
just
me,
kidding.
Facebook's.
Just kidding. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, I know.
Just kidding.
I ran a paramedic call for a woman who had stomach pain. Okay, so we run the call. Normally, they send a fire truck with us, and this is when I was paramedic. So we get there, we walk in, and she's a younger woman. And I was like, all right, so what's going on today? It's the middle of the night. You're already tired. You're like, oh crap, why what's going on? Because she's younger. What could possibly be going on? You need 911. She goes, well, I have a lot of pain. I'm like, all right, how's long has it been going? Well, she go, it just started like half an hour ago. Well, what were you doing before it? Because these are standard questions if you're a nurse or doctor. Well,
Mhm.
what were you doing before that? Did you eat
Mhm.
something? She goes, well, I don't know how to answer that question. We're like, well, what's wrong? Because we're tired. We're like, what is going on? I mean, do you just
Okay.
want to go? You want to ride to the hospital? A lot of people call 911 in America
Mhm.
because they just want to ride.
Mhm.
Like, well, what? She goes, put your hand on my stomach. Like, why am I going to do this? I put my hand on her stomach, and it's like vibrating.
What
Like,
did she swallow?
no,
The
she didn't
phone?
swallow anything. Hold
Okay.
on, I'm trying to keep it generic.
Okay.
Like, what the heck? I said, what is that? She goes, she was using something. And it got stuck up inside, and the battery hasn't died yet.
Okay, I know.
There you go. And she can't get it out. Well, so yeah,
And
so
it's still vibrating.
and she was so embarrassed that she had to call 911 for this, but she didn't know what to do, so we took her to the hospital. And then, of course, I have to call the nurse. Everybody ever watches emergency, they call Rampart. This is Squad 51. So I have to actually call the nurse and tell them because they need to know where to put this patient. So I have to tell another woman, like, yeah, we have this. And I didn't do it on the radio because then everybody's hearing it on the radio because people can listen. So I had to call on a cell phone, like, hey, this is what's going on. And the nurse wouldn't respond. I think she was laughing. I don't think she knew what to do. So that was one of my stranger calls. But yeah. And of course, firefighters do not go back to the firehouse and tell the story to everybody. Like I would never go on a live stream and tell the story either. But yeah, I went back and everyone thought I was lying at the breakfast table the next morning. I said, "You will not believe the call we had last night." And then, of course, it just spread
Yeah,
everywhere.
of
But
course. I
of
mean,
course, is that what you were looking for? Probably
yeah,
not.
that was no, but that was I mean, I think it's a good bedtime story.
Yeah, bedtime story. Yeah, that would work. Yeah, where's my laugh track?
And at least
There
it's
you go.
nice to talk, so
There you go.
right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my god, thank you so much for sharing this.
I didn't mean to make you blush. Sorry, but you asked the questions.
Why? I could need some color. Um, well, I have one question about Facebook again. I think Beard asked before something like, "Is Facebook that bad?" Um, honestly, I would just say it now because it's not that bad. It's on every platform you have haters and you have toxicity. I don't think Facebook is any different from Twitch or
Oh,
YouTube or whatever.
yeah.
But I have a question about Facebook because on Twitch, there's a lot of problems with bans. On YouTube, we have a lot of shadow bans and ban issues right now. How is it on Facebook for you? Are you ever worried about doing something wrong to get banned or anything? How is the pressure on Facebook as a streamer?
I Well, I keep my stream PG-13 anyway. I mean, it's a 13. Every website's a 13 website. I keep
Mhm,
it generic, and we have actually like kids that watch my stream. So if
mhm,
I do talk about anything adult, it's kind of like Disney code where the
mhm,
parents can figure out and they're laughing, but kids have no idea what we're talking about.
mhm,
But then again, some of my moderators was like, "Oh, the kids know." The kids know. But I keep it generic. So I don't play music. I don't care if it's copyright free or not. I really don't care. I mean, what I don't know what the point would be. So I try and stay away from that. Or if I do play it, it's the Facebook copyright free music. Because you can play like Harris Heller's stream beats.
yeah,
And because you've heard Harris talk about this, where his music is not registered with Facebook, and sometimes you'll get a copyright strike, even though it's not a
yeah,
copyright issue.
yeah,
I just stay away from it. I'm driving a truck. What do I play music for anyway?
mhm,
Um, as far as I don't do anything bad. I do exactly what I have 0 strikes on my account. I just do exactly what they tell me to do. I read the thing. I know. Tell me what not to do. I won't not do that. So
mhm,
why ride the line for it?
yeah,
As long as you stay in good graces with Facebook, here's a thought. How about I do what Facebook says to do or whatever platform? And then eventually, hey, whenever we stop our stream, my Rock Squad knows, hey, Facebook's featuring me. You know why? Because they can trust my stream because they know they can put up there and feature me because I don't do anything wrong. And I
mhm,
have a long record of being there every single day doing exactly what they said to do.
mhm, mhm,
That's a neat thought,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Um, I know I'm on somebody's website like that report about these different streamers. Most of them are Twitch that get banned for this and that. Like I would have never done that. I mean, that's just me. But
Well, I mean, there were also bans there. I mean, and not every ban was that clear.
yeah,
But,
yeah,
you know
yeah, I understand that. And I don't follow all the Twitch stuff, but on
Mhm.
Facebook, there's this thing called shadow ban that people think exists. So
Yeah.
when I don't have a Facebook manager now, but I used to. And I brought that up to him in a phone call one time. He laughed. He goes, "There is no such thing as a shadow ban."
Mhm,
Because
there's a
that
ban or
does
not a
not
ban.
exist.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
even in the partner group, they said, but people think because their stream doesn't get reach or whatever, they think they're shadow banned or something like that. When
Which
I go back
again,
to, yeah,
taking ownership and taking it from the outside.
right. I mean,
Mhm.
but what really is they're probably not doing now. Is there something wrong with the account? I've had things go wrong with my account,
Mhm.
like because they're doing all these big upgrades to Facebook. They have the new page experience, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have legitimately had errors in my account, which may have caused my stream thing. But I have a screenshot of this is wrong,
Mhm.
and I report it, and they fix it, and blah blah blah, and they've been doing all these upgrades for last year. And so once I understood over the last year and a half, don't panic because your viewers dropped today because I
Mhm.
stream 7 days a week. I know what the ebbs and flows are. Some days you hit it, some days you hit the algorithm, some days you don't. This is
Yeah.
not Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch, there is no algorithm. You're not pushed out. It is what it is. You got 30, you got 30. That's
Well, there
because
is an
you
algorithm, but it
right, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But Facebook is super strong algorithm where
Mhm.
not majority of my viewers are not actual followers and we can see that differences. We know how many followers and non-followers are. So we
Yes.
are getting pushed out. And that's our opportunity to take advantage of that to turn them into followers. And hopefully they will be engaged followers. Even though I have 300,000 followers, I don't have 300,000 engaged followers. It's
No.
a fraction of that. They
Yeah, yeah.
came and go. They're still a follower. It doesn't mean we're any different than
What's the percentage for you on the 300,000? Who's engaging with you?
it.
Do you have it?
Well, if you asked me this a month ago, it was super high, but for some reason it's dropped off. And I stream early in the morning. I'm a very international stream, and when this war started with Ukraine and Russia, it just so happens I'm the one stream over the last year that drives Ukraine in a truck all the time. And I'm in Russia. I'm on the border. We did these deliveries for the last year. Everybody in the chat room that's in there, they know that. It
Mhm.
just so happened this all is going on. And then I plummeted. I and they also we also have a lot of viewers who are from Ukraine and Russia and Moldova and Romania,
Wow.
and they have now disappeared. Like, we now know, I think they announced that they are not allowing Ukrainians to even log in to protect them and their personal information. I think they locked down their accounts so they can't be used against their families and stuff like that. But I have no access to those people, so my international stream has taken a hit in the
Hmm.
last few weeks with all this going on. Um, I think I'm just assuming because I can see what countries are logging in. I don't see Ukraine anymore. Russia's now gone. India pops in and out, and but that part of the world has dropped off my thing. So yeah, I've taken a hit, but um, I don't know. It's really interesting streaming 7 days a week, so you understand all these things, whether the platform's broken or is a really legit reason in the world. When another country, we had a lot of viewers from Myanmar,
Hmm.
Myanmar? What is that?
I don't
Myanmar.
know. Well,
When they had their uprising, remember when their military took over?
mhm,
Damn, same thing. I noticed on my account, like my viewers like plummeted. And it appeared to me, I don't know if it's true or not, but they stopped pushing us out at that time of day, the international stream. So if I stream later on the day, it's almost all North America and UK. But because I'm on so early, I have Philippines, Malaysia,
yeah.
Ukraine,
Mhm,
Russia viewers. So when all this conflict happens, I happen to have a lot of countries there in conflict. I go up and down based on what the news is. So when I wake up in the morning, I see Myanmar. I'm like, oh, okay. Then I stream. I'm like, my viewers dropped 75%. So
wow.
asking me this month what my percentages of engaged followers
Yeah, yeah, it's
is gonna be
completely
different than
different to next month.
it's all so sometimes it goes so low. I'm like, what is wrong? And
Mhm,
then if I just stick it out and just keep grinding, boom,
mhm,
it shoots up. It'll multiply like 20 times.
mhm,
Like I'll go down like only 5,000 engaged. All of a sudden now I got 40,000 engaged followers. I mean, it's crazy. It just goes all over. You don't know.
mhm.
Um, and I don't, whether they're getting alerted because of, I don't know. It just appears it's very driven by world events
Yeah.
with Facebook, the way Facebook operates.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm just going by what I see on a 7 day a week,
I mean, we
19
also
month.
live right now in a very extreme situation, and Facebook,
Yeah. So,
I mean,
yeah, I'm taking a big hit right now and I'm all, and believe it or not, all, we're worried about what happened to some of our viewers that are normally there every day.
mhm,
Afghanistan was not one. Remember when America threw out of Afghanistan, all that?
yeah,
We had Afghanistan viewers. We get a lot of viewers from Middle East because
mhm,
they
yeah.
know we
Middle
we
East is
are
big.
very
Mhm,
yeah, we're very
definitely.
friendly to Muslims because I love Muslims. I met
Mhm,
them in Iran. Remember my story?
yeah,
So
I do.
they feel very friendly. They know I don't put up with anything about bigotry, sexism, racism. I don't. I ban people immediately for that. If you want to be racist, sexist, you're
Mhm,
out. I banned paid supporters by using racist terminology. Yeah, you're done. Like I don't even. There's no gray line. Out. And yeah, I take hits on that, but I don't. I'll put up with that. So people feel very comfortable being there. Women feel comfortable that women are not degraded by like. Yeah, we're not Tinder. So women feel very comfortable. We have a high percentage of women in our chat, which who would watch a stupid trucking stream? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's really interesting how this works. So yeah, my numbers are all over the place. This month could be good, bad. I
mhm,
don't know. It
yeah,
doesn't matter.
I love that.
Yeah.
Pun, why you reading my mind? I had the same question in my mind actually. What would you like to see Facebook to what would you like to see Facebook do to improve the streaming experience? No, sorry.
Oh man. Um,
I know there was a lot of discussion actually the last 6 months that Facebook still needs to improve a lot in point of specifically tools for the streamers, right? Did they come along there anyway? Did they? I actually didn't look into that so much.
yeah, I had a huge drop March of 2021. I can't remember. We were having like our viewer numbers, whether they're followers, not dumb, the stupid viewer number of the corner, which really means nothing. We were like 1,200, 1,500 every day. One day, overnight, it dropped to 40. Like,
Wow.
overnight. Like, what happened? Like, I know I shouldn't look in the numbers, but when you go from every day 1,100 viewers and overnight, peak was 60. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on. We're gonna move on. Next day, same thing. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Which a lot of streamers go through. Um, and I contacted Facebook support. They couldn't. It's to this day they can't figure out. But what they did is they gave me the new page experience early, where a lot of people didn't have that. So this new page experience I've had for a while. I've struggled through it longer than anybody. I was in the initial batch, and eventually everybody's supposed to have it on Facebook. They are making new tools for streamers. Not everybody has a new page experience yet. I have it. I've seen the growth over the years. I mean, over the months. Um, the tools they are working on them. We get new things every day. Like I just got something new 2 days ago where other streamers have it. Not everybody has the same stuff yet. Um, I know they're actively working on it. They have not laid off. Reels, which is now big because of TikTok. Reels are what shorts are on YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now all the partners have reels, not level up creators. We just got that the other day. Every partner has now reels as part of our gaming page. That's a big deal. So you can literally have TikTok style on your gaming page, which is kind of a big deal. So I think they're using part of the partnership. I don't think I'm talking out of turn with contracts, but part of being a partner is you get the stuff early, before level up. So part of that is you got
I
also
think
get
you also
other
only
things.
can do it in the US, right? I think it's not even there in Europe yet.
They've expanded reels to people outside the United States also as well. But yeah,
Mhm.
partnerships are weird. I don't know enough about partnership, and I'm not want to talk for Facebook, but um, partnerships are different if you're in the
Sorry.
UK than here. They have different rules than we have, and they have different people to report to, stuff like that. I'm basing on what like UK streamers say, stuff like that. But they have expanded out, yeah, to other countries slowly. I mean, you can imagine how complicated that is trying to expand because every country has different rules and regulations. So you have to navigate for all that stuff. And how do they get paid? Because now you get ad money and stars and other
Yeah.
benefits, and um, you have requirements and different laws, different places. Like EU has different rules than the American laws and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
exactly.
So yeah, it's complicated. Everyone thinks it's easy. It's got to be complicated. I couldn't imagine doing that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there are so many laws, and you can, yeah, yeah, definitely. But I'm
But they
looking
are
forward
working on
because
a lot of tools. I can assure you they're working on a lot of tools because I get them early.
yeah,
I get them early, and
I'm wondering when Twitch finally wakes up. Like, I mean, it's all about the content, you know. It's all about getting content out, and there's no. I mean, taking clips on Twitch is so useless. Besides
yeah,
using the clips to put them on other platforms.
and the
Um,
more of these guys that leave Twitch to get these contracts at YouTube, and what they're saying now that they're away and they can talk, it is interesting. It is. I know there's 9 million streamers per month on Twitch. Is the numbers that I guess the last numbers that we're aware of 8 to 9
mhm.
million. That's a lot of streamers, and only very few of those actually do well. Most of them don't.
Well, this is
And
how the world works. It's only a few
I
who
know
do
it's a
well.
lot of work and the odds are against you right off the
Yeah.
bat. Even
Mhm.
Facebook, the odds are against you. I mean, there's only so many people they can push out and highlight and but you got to rise. You got to be better than the guy that's being featured, guy or girl. You
Mhm.
just got to be better than Pokemon. That's it. Pokemon. That's it.
How you said it, you just have to be better than
You
Pokemon.
just got to be better than Pokemon or die. Well, I can't say anything.
What would you tell someone who's on the fence to start streaming or not to start streaming?
He knows my answer to this, and you've heard this from other big streamers that post this stuff on YouTube. I would say don't do it. And if you are going to do it, I want you to tell. I see because people lie. I want people to tell me honestly, why do you want to stream? I want to know the real answer, especially because of the pandemic. Why do you want to stream? Don't give me some half answer I just want to stream my friends. That's a cop out answer, in my opinion. I want to
Mhm.
do it as a hobby. That's cool. Okay, I can accept that. But really, are you expecting to be a partner or something like that? What is the real? Do you want to do it just for the money? Because a lot of people hear that.
Yeah.
You know, they hear these streamers, what's her name, out there buying gas stations and stuff like that. Well, I want to do that too. You're not going to be her, okay? You're not going to be able to do that. Um, you're not going to get a multi-million. Well, you might be able to get a multi-million contract. It's also the odds of your kid getting in the NFL or you know some football team or something like that. The odds are very much against you, I bet. But I want to know exactly why do you want to do it? Be honest. And a lot of people want to do it for money. That usually 99.9% will not happen. That's not going to happen because or do you want to quit your job because you don't want to go to work and you just want to sit home and play video games? Well, it goes back to what we were saying. How many hours do we actually put into our streams as successful people? How many people? Do you have the ability to go open a cupcake shop and put in all the hours to come up with setting up the logo, opening up the shop, decorating it the correct way, laying out the cupcakes, come up with the right recipe that people will come in and want your cupcakes over the other cupcake shop down the street? Do you have the ability to work these long hours that cupcake shop owners do to be successful at selling cupcakes? Will you go on to Facebook, make your or all the social media platforms and promote your cupcakes? Are you going to go out and do all that stuff to make it success? I know I'm doing a cupcake shop, but I love doing that. Will you do all the stuff to make a successful cupcake shop? It's a lot of work. Go talk to any small business
Mhm.
owner that is successful. How many hours they're putting in? They work in 7 days a week to sell cupcakes.
So
So
now
give you
he's answering my side gig question.
there you go. So it is a side gig. It is a side gig. And you can't leave your other job until this side gig of being a streamer equals or exceeds the money you're making at that other job. That's standard small business side gig 101. This is nothing but another side gig of all the different side gigs you can do out there. That's what this is. Do you have the ability to do that? And that's when you could stream. So if you want to do it because you want to do it as a business or a side gig, that's what you're up against. And you have a lot of competition out there. People will
Mhm.
talk about community, all that. You really are in competition with the other streamers. You got to have the better cupcake than the other cupcake in Euro Truck Simulator.
And you gotta be your own cupcake.
That better be a badass cupcake if you want to make it up to a level where you can quit your day job. And it's not over, right? So now, okay, let's fast forward. You now determine your side gig is now your primary income for your family.
How
You
important is networking with the other cupcakes?
the other networking, I think that's slightly overrated. It depends on how you do your content. Like, why do you want to network with another streamer? This is an interesting conversation. If you really want to be honest, why do you want to network with the other streamer? Do you want to take their viewers? Do you want to collaborate? I'm not a collaboration streamer because the way I stream, and Stone Mountain agree with this.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes your content just is not a collaboration style that works. Like I can't collaborate. It doesn't work with how I stream. I
Well,
talk to
you are collaborating with me right now in a way.
yeah, because it's a podcast, but it's
Mhm.
not a gaming stream. Um, but
Still?
like a lot of styles just don't collaborate well. Um, like why do you want to work with the other streamer? And can you trust the other streamer? Like, what is their purpose? What is the ultimate goal of what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? I raid every single stream. The people I raid, see, I have no problem raiding. I'm comfortable with my community to raid. And yeah,
Mhm.
I lose a few people from the raids, but that's okay. I don't
Mhm.
care. I raid streams that have 0 viewers on Facebook. I
Mhm.
raid streams that are not truckers. I go down the list because I can sort in the order of viewers. I go down. I don't raid. Well, I do raid Call of Duty. I go down, but if I'm in Call of Duty, I go to the bottom. Who has 0 viewers and only
Yeah.
has 100 followers? Who is brand new here? I
Mhm.
raid them. And all my community, I have a lot of community here watching right now. There's a lot to be learned by we rating because we watch these styles of new streamers and they see all the mistakes these streamers are doing. I'm not saying they're all made. I say, oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
watch. yeah, watching the guy as I said, this guy's actually doing well. He has 0 viewers where he's talking as if there's 1,000 people in the room. I said, this is the guy that knows what he's doing.
Mhm.
But other ones, they're on Discord with somebody, they're fighting, and we'll raid, and they'll totally ignore my raid. It's the biggest raid they've ever had in their Facebook raids, and they totally they ignore my whole raid, and they blew their shot at interacting, stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I mean, that's I think collaborating is kind of overrated. It's good. It's good
Mhm.
to network, but um, you really have to you really have to see why does that person want to network with you. Yeah, I think it's good to network with someone that doesn't do what you do.
Mhm.
I think that's very safe. Like,
Yeah.
if you're the cupcake owner, are you
Mhm.
really gonna go network with a cupcake, shop that's a block away? You think they wanna network with you? You guys are in competition, you know what I'm saying? But if I go network with a
Yeah.
flower shop,
Yes and no.
oh,
I know what you mean.
so now if
I'm
I'm
in
working with a
general
flower
not
shop, we
afraid.
both benefit because now maybe I can incorporate some of the flowers in my cupcake shop, but I can also put some of the cupcakes over
Mhm.
there, and we can all work together on the same thing, working with a wedding down the street.
Definitely. Yep.
It's
It's to your
still a
point.
small bit at the end of the day, this is a small business. It's
Mhm.
how you treat it.
Mhm.
So, but working with would Target ever network with Walmart here in the United States? They're two very similar stores with slightly differences, but they're in total competition with each other. They're trying to get the same exact market share, slightly different demographic, but you got to treat it. I believe you should treat it more like a small business, and if you do it that way, you'll succeed much further. Like, who can I network with that will help me so much with my stream? But I'm not trying to get their viewers but I'm trying to learn from them. They can learn from you. It's a very nice, but to find those people is very difficult. You really
Yeah.
got to go through and find those people. But somewhere along the line, now Call of Duty, if you're equal size streamers and you all work together, and there's
Yeah.
really no threat to your communities like that, but there are a lot of people out there just trying to get viewers.
Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
what is the real reason we're doing this? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. I love
I
it.
don't
No,
know
I
if I
totally
really
agree.
said that clear enough. I think that was a little muddy, but hopefully that made sense because I don't want people to think, "Oh, well, that Rock, he's a total jerk." That's not the point. The point is you gotta be really careful. What real benefit can I get out from this relationship?
Mhm. Yeah,
Mutual, and
and how
that's just
mutual and how it's genuine,
yeah,
right? Yeah, I
yeah.
like that.
I would say just start creating content from maybe YouTube, start making some VODs or something like that,
Ah,
some
sorry,
videos,
then I misunderstood even the question
I
before. I'm so
guess.
sorry, Jay.
It doesn't mean you have to go live, just make some TikTok videos or something. Just get used to creating something.
Ah,
And then
practice, sorry.
once you're happy with hey, I had fun doing that.
Mhm.
And then if the audience wants that, double down on that. Like
Yeah.
try a bunch of different things that you if at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy doing it, you're gonna fizzle out.
Mhm.
Like if you don't enjoy playing video games on camera and talking, it's not gonna work. If you just can't get over that shyness and everything like that, the only way to get over it is you gotta do it. That's what Casey Neistat always says, right? Or Gary Vee. Just do it. Just put a bunch of stuff out there because the only way you can get better is over time. If we all went back and looked at our very first video we ever posted, I don't care if you're Casey Neistat or whoever, it was horrible. It was horrible. But
Mhm.
the only way you get better is you got to do it. And there's no way to practice other than just doing it.
Yeah,
And yes,
absolutely.
people are going to make fun of you. People are going to do this, that. You got to get over that. You got to don't care what people think. Just do it. Do it, and you will get better. You will get better. I need to be better at making videos instead of doing live every day,
Mhm.
all the time. So I'm committing to doing 2 to 3 VODs for YouTube every day, every week. I
I
gotta
wanted to
start
say
doing that.
every day.
No, not every day. But I
Crazy.
may make 3 of them in one day and build up content and then start releasing it. That way I have a buffer in case I don't have time or something like that.
Mhm.
So start creating over the next 2 weeks and then have a buffer. Then I can
Mhm.
start releasing one and see, and release it on the correct time, the right day. There's a whole science to that. You just don't throw it up there. You gotta do the whole thing. I gotta be better at that and then try different things, start experimenting, tutorials or reviews or or just gameplay. and see what people are watching, and from
Yeah.
that, double down to whichever one that seems to be working. It's YouTube 101.
Will
You
you
know, throw a
use
bunch
your
of stuff
regular
up there and
YouTube
see what
channel?
works.
Will you
I do
use
have a
your
YouTube channel,
Yeah,
but it's
I
it's
know.
it's really experimental. It doesn't really the food reviews seem to be doing a lot. I need to do more food reviews. Like, I used to do food reviews and make them in, like, a Casey Neistat. As I was traveling for Marriott, I was bored when I get to these cities. I'm like, "All right, so what am I doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna go do fast food reviews." So I would go to fast food reviews. I would go buy food and do a Casey Neistat style vlog in whatever city I was in,
Yeah, I saw
in my
that. I love
convoy.
the naked what was it? Naked
Oh, the
what was
naked egg taco, yeah,
the
video.
naked egg
Um,
taco. Yeah, that was
so
great.
but I did those not that I was gonna do food reviews, but so I could learn how to edit videos. So the only way to learn how to do it is come up with something and then pick a style and figure it out. So I would try different things, add music, do this, and then transitions. And I just picked the food reviews as a way to learn how to edit video, whether they're really
Mhm.
that good or not. It was just a way to learn. But now people are like, "Hey, when's the next food review?" I'm like, and I keep shoving off, but in my mind, they're trying to tell me to do food reviews. I need to do food reviews. So
Mhm.
the weather's getting warmer here. The flowers are starting to come out. Spring's here a little early here in Washington. So I said when it gets warm, I'm going to start doing the outside food reviews. Not trying to be Dave Portnoy doing pizza reviews, but go out there and start doing those food reviews. Like go buy some, come out and eat it,
Yeah.
which is what I kind of did. But I went now that Dave Portnoy's a big pizza guy. One bite, everyone knows rules. I got to make sure it's not that.
Oh, why did I
That's always in my
start that
mind. It's like,
topic now? I'm getting so hungry now.
our stream always comes down to pizza and
Mm.
food reviews. Somehow, food is always comes in our stream all the time.
Yeah, man, definitely. That's why I have a rule on my own stream, never talk about food because I'm always getting hungry.
The only other thing that's on my mind is where will I stream in the future? Because every platform is going through a shakeout. The only one not doing anything is YouTube, but it's like Twitch has a lot going on. Facebook's got a lot going on. It's like, do I really put all my eggs in this one basket or not? And that's
Mhm,
always in my mind. I think everybody thinks about that. I'm accused of being a Facebook fanboy. I get it. I get it.
mhm.
I love Facebook. So if they're watching this, don't get all pissy with me. Um, but it's in your mind. It's like, well, they're going through a lot of problems with the whole platform. What if
Mhm.
one morning I wake up in Facebook game and they said we can't afford to do the gaming part anymore? You
Exactly.
don't know.
Yeah.
It could be the next mixer. You don't know. I'm not saying that is a bad thing. So now what do I do?
Mhm.
So I am doing a little bit more YouTube.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, it's nothing different to the theory basically which comes from the 90s where everyone told you you need an email list,
right.
yeah, and
Nobody
then
uses those anymore.
yeah, exactly. Nobody's using it anymore. But
The old
now
chip is like, hey, keep using us, but nobody's using it. Yeah.
and now it's yeah, because it's everyone gets so much spam.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's nobody's
Gmail
reading
will
it anyways.
filter it out now, so you never see it. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone is
So
abusing it. So, and now it's the same with the streaming thing, right? Now you're on Facebook, but in the end, you have to feed all platforms. Are you on TikTok as well?
I have TikTok, but
Not using
some
it,
of these
right?
people know. I tried streaming there live one time doing gaming one day.
Mhm.
My very first day had more viewers there than I ever did on Facebook. I like it was out of control. It
Mhm.
boggles my mind how that platform works.
Mhm.
Now, the chat room was not something that I really liked because it was the most bizarre live chat I've ever seen anywhere. I do want to try it again, but it's the video quality is not the good. It's not I don't have the access that a few people actually have. Like they haven't released that OBS tool, whatever they had going on. But uh that yeah. Some people are commenting in the chat. They said it was chaotic. It was the most bizarre thing. We had like 20 viewers. Suddenly there was 2,000 people in there, like bam, just like that. I'm driving a truck. And it was really bizarre. But I am on TikTok. I used it when it was called Musically. I don't know if you remember that, but it was before it was TikTok. It used to
Yeah.
be called Musically and then it switched to TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
So I did some TikTok when I was in hotel rooms because I was bored. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do some lip syncing on TikTok, and he was still young, but then I realized I'm spending all this time making a stupid TikTok of lip syncing Seinfeld or something like that. So there's some old videos on there from 2 or 3 years ago. But if I guess if I'd stuck it out, again, you never know what's gonna happen, right?
You never
But it
know.
does take a lot of your personal time. So I try not to go over there, but there's only so many platforms when you don't have a staff as a streamer. It's like, where are you gonna put all your energy at? Am I gonna sit over and make TikToks? Is that really gonna help my Facebook stream grow? Maybe, maybe, probably not.
Mhm.
Um, but if I live stream over there, I don't believe in doing too much restreaming as because my chat room is so busy on Facebook. If I restreamed, now
Then
I
you
got
have
all
lots.
these different platforms. But if you're, I would want to concentrate on one chat. If I want to stream over on YouTube, then I go over to YouTube and stream. If I want to stream on TikTok, then I'll do that because it just gets too busy. I can't follow where. And then the Facebook people feel this because I'm talking to TikTok people. It I think it depends on the streamer and what you're doing.
Mhm.
But my Facebook stream is so busy. If I added a YouTube in there as well,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I can't keep up with it. I can barely keep up with the one I have now.
Yeah, then you probably would need to do more regulations and stuff, and it's a question if you want that. Yeah, I mean, it's not all about quantity, right?
No, no,
And
no,
in
it's
the end,
quality,
and yeah,
quality.
exactly. But it seems that way, it's all about the numbers. But in that case, because you have a very talkative show as well, and you want to engage with your community and followers, and it wouldn't be possible that way anymore.
One of the things that bugs me about Facebook, and it really goes on other platforms, is that stupid viewer number up in the upper left-hand corner.
Hmm.
The people that watching don't understand that really means nothing. But
Hmm.
all they see is, "Hey, you only have 50 viewers. What's
Hmm.
wrong with you?"
Hmm.
Well, this person has 800
Hmm.
because they don't understand what's really going on behind the scenes. Like there's some new streamer that's only been here like 1 or 2 months, and suddenly they used to have 20 viewers. Now all of a sudden they have 1,500 today.
Hmm.
Like, well, what's wrong with your stream? Why does he have 1,500? They don't realize that they have a program for new streamers if you're accepted, and they will put you out there for 1 month, and they will push you out. And then at the end of that
Who
time
knows?
period of putting you on stage, boom, you're back down to your 50 unless you use that opportunity to grow your community. Um, and a lot of those viewers that people have when they're getting pushed out. So most of them are non-followers. They're not going to be followers. You're just showing up, you're being featured, you're being pushed out based on whatever the algorithms that day. But people focus on that stupid. I wish it was not displayed, but it is. Um, and I think that's a problem. But I
Hmm.
think Gary V even had he talked about this like 2 or 3 years ago with that he wished the likes were gone on Instagram, all these different platforms because it people worry too much about numbers and not about the quality of their stream. If those numbers are sitting there staring at you, people focus on way too much, and then it causes stress, anxiety. You feel like you're doing something wrong, blah blah blah, and it's all nothing. It really means nothing at the end of the day.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
causes a lot of stress. Then you start getting pissed off at that streamer, and it's just drama. It just cavalcades on itself. And what used to be a little snowball has now turned into this big boulder. It doesn't mean nothing at the end of the day.
Hmm.
How
Yeah,
many engaged
totally agree.
followers do you really have? That's the real number you need to worry about.
I
Yeah,
love
that
that.
300,000 number means nothing.
Yeah,
It
totally
doesn't.
agree. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, Rock. Do you want to say something to the end? Do you have some final words?
I hope you get better. It was a lot of fun. Thank you so much. You do a great job. I was looking at all your previous shows. Guys, check out all of our other streams that she's been doing. She's been doing a lot of them. I didn't
Thank
realize
you.
how many videos you've been doing. I'm like, oh my God. She's over on Twitch. She's got a bunch of videos over there. Check it
Yeah,
out.
I try. I try. I'm busy. I'm busy myself. I think there we are the same that I'm very good in keeping myself busy, and if I have an idea, I just jump right on that and go from there. Um yeah, but it's fun. It's fun. And every time you create something and you put it out there, right? It also makes you feel good or better in a way.